be interesting to watch here.
And they've done this for every game starting yesterday. They did not do this with the snow and the poor weather on Thursday, but they did this for all 4 games yesterday, and I'd imagine that's going to be we're going to see that with 4 different games today as the ball is dropped, takes a bounce, and Alex Jackson does touch it, so we'll see if the superstition continues, or does he continue off of what San Juan did last night. I mean, San Juan kind of got scary there for a minute for the Broncos. Again, a shootout with Emory. We were joking that, well, there is a WAC logo on the field. Those old WAC shootouts that used to happen back in the 80s and 90s kind of looked like one of those old games out there. So, keys to the game, Cam, for the Juab Wasps coming in to the semifinal matchup.
Well, and I think it's always going to be, and I think you saw that in some games yesterday, but you've got to take care of the football.
Yeah.
Turnovers are priority. And then I think for the Juab Wasps to be able to have their defense get out there and get some stops, doesn't necessarily have to be 3 and outs, but limit Canyon View to some short offensive drives. We're going to watch pass coverage initially, because that's got to be good. And then I think, and this, you mentioned Keegan Hall in our pregame there, that Keegan Hall needs to go get pressure along with the rest of that defensive front for the Juab Wasps.
So the Falcons will kick off to the Juab Wasps to start this game. Salt Creek Veterinary sponsors our first half kickoff. Dr. Mont Myers is next to the Juab County Fairgrounds. Call 623-5404. Canyon View goes black helmets, white jerseys, white pants, and unfortunate for us broadcasters, a silver trim.
Hard to read numbers.
Very hard today, folks. And then for the Juab Wasps, the gold helmets, the maroon jerseys, and gold pants. First time I've seen the Wasps in their maroon all year. And we are underway for the 3A state semifinals. Dax Johnson's going to return this at the 10-yard line. Gets a good block. Johnson sheds a tackler, gets to the sideline. Still going out to the 50-yard line. Ball pops out, and it is out of bounds to the fortunes of the Juab Wasps. It was right in the hands of the Canyon View Falcons. An unfortunate bounce there for Juab as they will take over on what was a great return.
Wow, great return by Dax, but I think that pop out, I think it was number 14 for Canyon View, Jack Cavallari, had that fall right into his breadbasket and just unable to bring that in, and it goes out of bounds. And so Juab maintains possession as Canyon View was never able to possess that.
Based on Perry's Power Guide, Juab's a 13-point favorite. They've won 7 straight against the Falcons, lead the series 8-3 all-time. Jackson in the shotgun, takes the snap. Going to go deep on the first play of the game to guess who? Peyton Park, who makes the catch and strides in to the end zone for 6. And just like that, the Wasps open out on top. Welcome back, Mr. Peyton Park.
Well, I'll tell you, that is huge for Juab because they wanted to get Peyton involved. That's Peyton's first action since this team, and that very route there where he made the completion fell kind of awkwardly and broke both bones in his left arm. But this time a perfectly thrown ball from Alex Jackson, and Peyton Park able to bring it in. No tackle this time as he's in the end zone, and that's got to relieve some pressure for him as well.
Absolutely. Riker Richards on to attempt the PAT. Cache Valley Bank sponsors our end zone, offering mortgage and construction loan services in the Cache Valley Bank app for banking on the go, all with the touch of the button. And Riker Richards' PAT is good, so with 11:43 to go in the opening quarter, it's Juab 7, Canyon View 0 on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, and ETV.
I thought there was only one way to do college. I knew I needed training to set me up for a great career, but I didn't have 4 years. Snow helped me discover that college doesn't have to be about sitting in classes, counting down the hours. They showed me a way to get the edge I needed, and fast. The best part was with their low-cost programs and tuition assistance, I didn't have to go into debt. I was able to earn my certificate and start working right away. Snow College. This is college.
Live high school sports action on Centricom, Channel 10, ETV, and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Well, Cam, couldn't have asked for a better start for the Wasps. You get a great kick return. Maybe would have liked Dax Johnson to hold on to the football, but at the end of the day, you hold on. And Peyton Park, man, talk about that could not have gone any better for Peyton's first play back in action.
Yeah, we just welcome back right there, and that's kind of the play that has made, or well, that's been kind of Peyton's career. It has been that vertical and comes through right there.
Richards sends a booming kick, and they say that does not go into the end zone, so it's a returnable ball. I believe that's Nick Macias on the return as he gets out past the 20-yard line, where it will be First down and 10 for the Canyon View Falcons. A little extracurricular activity out there after the play. No flags thrown. It'll be first down and 10. This Canyon View offense, very different from what they were always a very run-heavy team, I feel like, over the years. They've gone to the air, and it starts with quarterback Jackson Jensen.
Yeah, and we talk about the weapons Juab has on the outside. Canyon View has plenty of them themselves. Andrew Barnes, Nick Macias. I think they've got 3 receivers over 500 yards with receptions this year. So a talented group there on the offensive side.
They're going to go trips to the far side, single receiver near side, single back. Pocket collapsing, and a sack right off the bat for the Juab Wasps. I think Will Harmon came in and cleaned that up at the end. A couple other guys in there first to the quarterback.
And I think Keegan Hall may have been, no, let's get that correction to see. I think it was Keegan who got just enough of his arm, and it was his throwing arm, and held him up, and then Will came in and got him.
Peyton Peterson in there for the Juab Wasps, along with Cody Brandon. In the gun, it's Jackson Jensen. Brings a man in motion with a split back set. It's going to be a run play on second down and long, and a solid run up the middle for the Falcons. Not going to quite get back to that original line of scrimmage, but a gain of about 5 or 6 on second and long.
Yeah, and gives you a chance right here now. I mean, it's still more than 10. You're behind the chains and facing a third and long, but that was a good running play that can lead things back, and the Wasps had to get there, and it was Will Harmon once again just from that middle linebacker spot, wrapping him up and holding him up.
Asher Groff, the junior running back. That's the thing, a lot of underclassmen on this Canyon View team as well. Nick Macias is a senior, but you get Jackson Jensen at quarterback. He has 1 more year remaining as well, so future's bright for Coach Miller and the Falcons. They go trips far side, single receiver near side, single back as Jensen's going to roll out on third down and long. Steps up in the pocket, going to throw, busted coverage, has a man and overthrew him. Oh man, wide open down the field for the Canyon View Falcons was Nick Macias, their do-it-all athlete, and it's going to be a punting situation.
Wow, and that's a break for the Juab Wasps, because those are the things that have kind of drove Coach Bowering crazy, is just these busted coverages where you just didn't get out-athleted. You just weren't in the right spot, and you and your team were not on the same page. But Juab dodges a bullet there and should be able to force a punting situation here.
Punt will come from the Canyon View Falcons on fourth down and long. Snap is good, holds good, and the punt is away. It's a bit of a line drive as Dax Johnson retrieves and picks it up at the 40 and just scampers out of bounds near the 44, 45-yard line. Wasps will take over. Pretty good when your worst field position of the day, Cam, is back at your own 45, but that's where we're going to start this drive for Juab.
Yeah, and really good pressure that time on the punt. I wonder if Juab will see that, because it looked like maybe even had more of a chance and laid up right there a little bit off of it. But second possession, and this will be Juab's second play
that's right.
to start here.
We've had a couple of those throughout the weekend, teams scoring on their first play of the game. It's play action for Jackson, goes over the middle. He's got a man, and it's just a little bit, timing was slightly off there with Wes Nielsen as it falls incomplete. Second down and 10.
Yeah, a little high. And it'll be interesting to watch the matchups, both sides of the ball for these two teams, just to see what cornerback is going to line up on, or what secondary man's going to line up on which receiver for both of these teams. I think what the interesting for me will be Trey Bueller, number 7 for Canyon View, and he's going to be matched up on Justin Stevens, and I think that'll be the interesting one when Juab's on defense.
Jackson takes the snap on second and 10, going to go long again, and just overthrows Riker Richards. There were 3 Falcons kind of in the area there, and that's going to bring up third down and 10 now, following the incompletion.
Yeah, maybe a little confusion on routes as Alex went deep. Riker Richard kind of on a post route over the middle. Justin Stevens was on a vertical down the sideline, and that ball kind of just fell between all of them right there.
Third down and 10 for Juab. We are yet to see a first down in this game.
Good point. Yeah.
3 minutes in. So we'll see if the Wasps can pick one up here. Jackson's going to go under center. Man in motion's Riker Richards. Now looks as Coach Bowering's going to take a timeout here. They want to make sure they get the right play in. We'll take a timeout as well and be back on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live and ETV.
Zions Bank proudly supports our local communities and schools. We've been providing families and businesses with banking tools and stellar service for nearly 150 years. For helping you achieve your financial goals, Zions Bank is for you.
When you need superior coverage for your greatest investments in life, Security Insurance is the answer. Riker Osborne of Security Insurance is the type of insurance agent that makes a difference for you and your family by offering United Insurance. Visit security-ins.com.
Live high school sports action on Centricom, Channel 10, ETV, and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
And we welcome you back on into our state semifinal 3A coverage. 3rd down and 10. It's Coach Ballering's message coming out of that timeout, Cam.
I think he didn't like the play, but I think he's going to try to get his kids to get their heads a little tighter and into this right here.
Pressure comes from Jackson, throws a dart, and it's in and out of the hands of Austin Park, who's made a jersey change and is wearing number 4 for the Juab Wasps, has been in at number 15. Pass falls incomplete, and the Wasps will have to send this away.
Yeah, and Austin with really good hands. That ball was a little bit behind him, but still passed it. If you went and asked him, he'll tell you he should have brought it in. So still yet to see that first down, and it's going to bring out that punting unit for the Juab Wasps that don't have to get out there that often.
Riker Richards to handle the punting duties. One of the best parts about having your kicker, punter in high school is odds are they're a skill position player as well. So something to watch with Riker on this punt. A little bit of a rugby-style boot, and it's a good hanging football caught at the 20-yard line. Macias breaks one tackle, breaks a second, and then was slowed down enough that really only got a couple extra yards after that. So the Canyon View Falcons take over at their own 24, 25-yard line, 1st and 10.
Yeah, good coverage that time by the Juab punt team. Just got to make that initial tackle, but as you mentioned, slowed them down, and then pretty good team tackling as they all swarmed to it.
Falcons with their second possession of the game, they had a 3-and-out. And really that sack that Will Harmon finished off is what led to Canyon View having to punt on their first drive. We'll see what the call is here as Macias comes near side. Split back set for Jackson Jensen. It's going to be a give to the right side, and the Wasps corral pretty quickly to that. It's a short gain of 2. Ball carry again is Asher Groft for Canyon View.
Keegan Hall with that from that defensive end just collapses down and able to wrap him up, keep that to a minimal gain.
Going to give him 3 on the carry, 2nd down and 7. Canyon View not a team, again, that's going to run the football a whole lot, similar to Juab, but we've seen a couple runs here from Groft early. The 5'11 junior. As Jensen goes split back, 2 receivers far, 1 near. It's a slant route. Macias can't make the catch as it falls into the dirt. Dax Johnson nearly had the interception, and now 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, very good coverage there as he ran a little slant. And looks like Dax was in man-to-man coverage, but Wes Nilsson was sitting in the middle of the field, kind of in a zone right there. Had he even been able to bring that ball in, he wouldn't have gone any further than that reception right there as Wes wrapped him up immediately.
2 receivers to either side. Man comes in motion for Jensen. Now goes out on kind of a wheel route. It's a screen setup, and it's complete to Groft. Groft looking to make a man miss. He's going to have enough for the first down out past the 35, 36-yard line. 1st down and 10 for the Canyon View Falcons. That's the first down for either team so far. First downs today brought to you by Nephi Federal Credit Union, your hometown credit union.
Wow, and a well-designed screen and kind of an interesting screen because the running back gets out past the lineman because the ball's across the line of scrimmage, but they're in an open flat right there, an open area of the field, and had enough to get the first down.
Split receivers to either side. Jensen's going to roll out to his right and just going to take this and run. Not something Jensen's going to do a whole lot. Takes a little bit of a hit heading to the sideline, and he gains about 6, 7, 8 yards on first down. A good athletic play there from Jensen.
Yeah, and that is something that I believe Juab's aware of just watching the defense, as it looked like Juab had Porter Anderson at that linebacker spot who was in spy on him. And Porter did that against Manti in the second matchup. And so I think it looks like they're going to spy him a little bit and try to keep him contained.
He does have 350 rushing yards on the year, second leading rushers. Jensen's going to keep it again. And nowhere to go with it that time. Wasp might have even gotten him for a loss again. Porter Anderson coming up with that hit, and it's a short loss.
Yeah, and I think, once again, that's Juab was aware of that as Porter Anderson spied him right there, and as he tried to dive up the middle, he had him there. And now they take Porter out and probably go into a nickel look or some kind of pass coverage look on third, and even though it's under 5.
3rd down and 3 coming up. Canyon View getting the first down of the game. If you're just joining us, Wasps struck first and early on the first play of the game. A touchdown from Alex Jackson to Peyton Park. 3rd down and 3. Jensen throws to the outside. It's complete, and Justin Stevens did a great job just wrapping up the receiver immediately. Riker Richards finishes him off, and it's a minimal gain. 4th down. I'm interested to see what Canyon View does here, because this is really going to be a 4th down and about a yard and a half to go. So we'll see what the call is here from Canyon View.
Yeah, and it looks like they've got the offense on the field. Got a good spot out of that as they gave it to where he stretched the ball out to right there, which is the right call.
Right.
Justin Stevens with a great job being on top of that and making that tackle initially.
Falcons trying to get the Wasps to jump off sides. And we'll get a timeout from Canyon View. With 6:48 to go here in the opening quarter, you're watching and listening to high school football on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, and ETV.
Edge Tire Pros in Nephi is the smart choice for a new set of tires for your pickup, work vehicle, or passenger car. The technicians at Edge Tire Pros provide trustworthy service on oil changes, brake work, and suspension accessories like lift kits, bed liners, and custom rims. Choose from a wide variety of tires including Cooper, BF Goodrich, and Michelin with a nationwide warranty on free flat tire repair, free rotation, and free road hazard. For a limited time, get the Edge Bronze Oil Change for just $19.99. Edge Tire Pros across the street from Parks Home Furnishings on Main Street in Nephi.
Live high school sports action on Centricom, Channel 10, ETV, and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
And we welcome you back on in. It's Juab and Canyon View. Wasp lead 7-0. Both teams have spent a timeout here early. Cam, you and I are just talking. I think Canyon View is going to need to punt the football here.
Well, it's a big risk if you don't right here. And you kind of tell your team, hey, I don't think we can stop them if you go. And that's not the message I think Canyon View wants to send. Their defense just had a great 3-and-out stop. But he's going to live dangerously, it looks like, and go, and it could be a quick kick. I have seen Canyon View do that.
Jensen on 4th and short takes the snap. They are going to go for it. Throw over the middle, and it's high and incomplete. And the Juab Wasps take over on downs, and a flag comes in very late. I'm talking a good 10 seconds after the play.
And I saw that called last night in, I guess it was Enterprise game that I was watching. So yesterday afternoon, when the receiver drops the ball or isn't able to bring it in, and then there's contact, which there is right there, they're going to get him for unsportsmanlike on a defenseless player. But the bottom line is that ball's up there. He doesn't know whether he's catching or not. He can't go high. He's got to watch. So I didn't like the call last night, and I don't like it here today either. As Cooper Blackett just came up, and he's going to try to break up that pass.
And I think this happened also in Emory.
Maybe that's where I watched it.
It might have happened in both. You know, we've had so much football action over the weekend. We'll see if. I think Juab fans have a right to be upset at that. The ball is tipped at that point.
And it's not like he sees that it's over, he's not going to catch it and still hits him. He's making a play right there with no knowledge whether he caught the ball or not.
A very late flag, and that changes the dynamics of this drive, as that was 4th down. Wasps were going to take over. Canyon View retains possession. It's a jet sweep to the outside. They get it in the hands of Nick Macias. He stumbles. Flag comes in. This is likely going to be in the area of a hold. Macias does a good job fighting forward. What looked like it might be a 3 or 4 yard loss turns into a short gain. This has got to be coming back based on where this flag was thrown and the body language, and yes, it is a hold.
Yeah, and it looked like Riker Richards was getting held on that corner as he was trying to turn that back in and set the edge, as they say, on the defensive side of the ball. But he kind of got held right there. But Juab was pursuing so well, and Wes Nelson eventually gets in there and brings him down. But
so it'll stay 1st down, and where it is a spot foul and happened pretty deep in to the play, that'll back it up. So penalties playing a factor early here in the 1st quarter.
Yeah, and so that helps Juab out after that that penalty on the Wasp, and now, and what has been a really clean game right here, and now a couple of back-to-back penalties here.
And officials still trying to get something straightened out. And now we're good. So, first down and 20 for the Canyon View Falcons. Jackson Jensen going to roll out to his right on a design run. Nowhere to go with it. Will Harmon combining in on that play. Trying to get the other number there for Juab inside. I believe that was Riker Richards making the hit as well. It's another loss of about 5 or 6. So now we've got Canyon View's going to have to get all the way to their own high school to pick up this first down at this point.
Now, watching that play, that is, Canyon View could have been, that's kind of a setup there. Well, they'll bring both backs in there as lead blockers and try to sweep the quarterback. They'll run another version of that where they'll sneak a back out. So those linebackers come up, and then he'll just dump it over the top. Look for that later in the game.
Second down and eternity here for the Falcons. A pump fake. Jensen's going to go deep for Nick Macias, and it is incomplete as both Dax Johnson did a good job throwing him off his route, and then Wes Nielsen bracketing over the top from his safety spot.
Yeah, and Dax in great coverage right there, just step for step. And it looked like when the ball went up, he had a step on Dax, but Dax is so quick, able to close that ground while the ball was in the air, and that was going to be a very difficult catch even if the ball would have been on target.
Third down and, boy, a long way to go. They're going to call this 3rd and 27 on our scoreboard here at Southern Utah University. 5:36 to go, opening quarter. Juab struck first and has led the entire game 7-0. All but 14 seconds they've led. It's a rollout for Jensen on 3rd down and long, and a throw to the sideline. It's complete and caught and still going. It's going to be a solid gain. Trying to get the number. I believe that was number 20, and that is Trenton Ludlow, just a sophomore for the Falcons. Getting a really good chunk of those yards back. It'll be 4th down and 9, and I think you're kind of in no man's land at this point. Great position to go for it.
That was good. You didn't need to get it all. The chances of you getting it all were not very good, and if you get an incompletion there, it's a punting situation. But because of that gain right there of about 20 yards, you're going to be able to now take another shot on 4th down.
4th and 9 for the Falcons. They go with kind of a tighter formation. 2 receivers to either side. Single back set here for quarterback Jackson Jensen. Jackson takes the snap. Pressure coming. Jackson rolls out to his right. He's going to loft one downfield. He's got a man, and it's caught. 10, forced out of bounds at the 5. Once again, that is the sophomore Trenton Ludlow making a big back-to-back receptions for the sophomore. Canyon View's now going to have 1st and goal at the 7.
Yeah, and that time, what a perfectly thrown ball on the run, and put enough air under that ball to let his receiver run under it, and gets it down inside the 10. And so a drive that looked like it was done after a penalty and a tackle for loss is now 1st and goal and a great chance.
1st and goal from the 7 for the Falcons, trying to tie this game up. 4:39 to go in the opening quarter. Falcons will go split back, single tight end, 2 receivers to either side. It's a give up the middle, inside the 5, pushing. Pyle is going to get stopped at about the 2-yard line. That's running back Asher Groft with a gain of 5 on 1st and goal.
Yeah, Juab comes out with the ball, but the officials had already blown that dead, and that's so hard to see. I'm not a huge fan of that pile up, keep moving it forward, just because so many things can happen. I believe in the game we did, we saw a ball come out late, and it's good, and then it kind of comes down to had they blown the whistle or not.
Yeah, and that's kind of newer. They're letting those piles push a little bit more these days as Johnson sends a man in motion. It's going to be a quarterback keep, and Johnson scampers in for 6. PAT away from tying this thing up. Canyon View answers.
Yeah, and just a well-designed play. Run that little fake on a little sweep action, takes out the outside defense, part of the Juab defense, and leaves a little gap right there, and he's able to scamper through and get into the end zone. Very nice, well-designed play.
So that'll make it 6-7 with the PAT pending here. Extra point attempt for the Canyon View Falcons, and we saw extra points were a big deal in some of those games yesterday. And even the case in some games with Juab this year, that Manti game early on, as play is blown. Oh, no, this is interesting. A false start on Canyon View, so that's going to back the PAT try up.
which was good. And you hate to take those points off the board because, we talked about that last regular season man-time match. Juab touchdown down for touchdown. That became an extra point game, and Juab was just better at that.
So another extra point try here. As they've made, and it's blocked. The Wasps got in and blocked it. I believe that was Dax Johnson coming off the edge.
Yeah, Dax Johnson, his speed is, if he was a video game, Dax Johnson would be the cheat code because he just has such speed, whether that's returning kicks, and he demonstrated it there as he just put the hammer down and then just a couple of steps got in there and blocked that.
So the kicker for Canyon View, the sophomore, Asher Slack, 18 of 20 on PATs coming in today, so pretty darn accurate.
Good, yeah.
And now goes 18 for 21. He's only attempted one field goal on the year, which he missed. So Canyon View is a team that you're not going to see attempt field goals, but they will kick the extra points, and they've been pretty darn accurate on the season. So have the Falcons. So they will kick off here. Juab still holds a 1-point lead. 3:56 to go, opening quarter. If you're just joining us, this game's had a little bit of everything already, Cam. Exciting special teams, sustained drives, and quick scores. And this kick is kicked almost perfectly. It does go out of bounds. And are they saying because Juab touched it, it's going to be at the 3-yard line?
We'll have to watch that because I believe Juab's standing out of bounds. If he's standing out of bounds when he touches it. Now, if he's not and he bats it out of bounds, that's a great call by the official, but we'll watch on the replay. I thought maybe he was standing out of bounds. I think he intentionally tries to stay in right there. So the official right on top of that, and a good call. And so Juab's 97 yards away from the end zone here.
We'll see what the Wasps dial up here. Backed up near their own end zone. Man comes in motion. It's Chase Ingram. It's going to be a give to Ryan Robinson up the middle. Ryan makes a cut forward on first down and gets 2 yards, gives the Wasps a little more breathing room starting from their own 3.
Yeah, and gets them out across that 5. And Ryan Robinson, not much of a hole there, but Ryan Robinson just does a great job of staying there, breaks a couple of tackles, and then falls forward, which Ryan always tends to fall forward. So you get that extra yardage.
2nd down and 7. Wasps will go empty here. Jackson over the middle. It's bobbled and nearly intercepted. Kind of a little miscommunication there between Jackson and Riker Richards. It's off the glove of Riker. And so now the Wasps already face 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, just a little high there. Just a little high and behind right there. And Alex did have an unblocked defender bearing down on him, but Alex, that usually does not bother him. But just a little high on that throw. Falls incomplete.
Wasps will go with 2 tight, 2 ride, throw to the outside. Peyton Park makes the catch and scampers out of bounds, and it's going to be enough. This should be enough for a first down.
Yeah, and kind of a risky little play there as he curled well short of the first down, and then gets those extra yards and gets that first down.
That's a Nephi Federal Credit Union first down. First down of the game for Juab. Nephi Federal Credit Union, your hometown credit union. Jackson takes the snap. It's going to be a give to Ryan Robinson. Ryan looks to get to the outside. Stiff arm. Stays inbounds. Forced out of bounds near the 29-yard line. A first down run for Ryan Robinson on first down. The Wasps move the chains on back-to-back plays.
Yeah, and Austin Park kind of holds up and gets that block out there as he's blocking Trey Bueller out there. Able to get enough to let Ryan get that stiff arm and pick up the first down.
First down and 10. For the Wasps, they go 2 receivers far, single receiver near. Jackson gets rid of it. Justin Stevens makes the catch, makes a man miss, and that tunnel screen defended really well by Canyon View. We know how dangerous Justin is on those catch and runs. Gets just a yard on that play, 2nd and 9.
I think that's the shortest gain I've ever seen on that tunnel screen to Justin. Justin, he is so good at that, but Canyon View looked like they were aware of that as Justin had to break a tackle as he caught the ball and just couldn't get going right there, and it gave those Canyon View defenders a chance to get back into the tunnel.
2nd down and 9. Jackson takes the snap, Play action, rolls out to his right. Jackson's going to throw. He's got a man. It's Wes Nielsen making the catch, and Wes is going to get a first down out across the 40-yard line. Wasps will move the chains again.
Yeah, and a really nice drive, at least initially here. Run, pass, kind of mixing it up right here from a drive that started at the 3. I would expect, I'm going to guess run right here and see if they get Ryan Robinson a few more touches.
First down and 10. Jackson. It's going to be a give to Ryan. Ryan gets a good block, heads upfield, and just runs into the defensive tackle of Canyon View. Still gets 3 yards on first down, and a positive play for the Wasps on the ground.
Yeah, and looked like that was big number 58 for Sam Vest from that defensive end spot, but 6'5", 225 right there. Got a hold of Ryan, and Ryan's still able to go forward a little bit.
A give to Chase Ingram on the counter, and Chase gets wrapped up early, and he's brought down. No gain on the play. I believe that's number 8 for the Canyon View Falcons, Lincoln Rushton, the junior.
Yeah, and not very nice play as he just finds that gap and gets through it. And Canyon View did a great job, and you don't always get the credit. Scotty Irons kind of set that edge and forced Chase Ingram inside where let the defense help.
3rd down and 7. Jackson. Pressure comes. Alex is going to get sacked. The Juab offensive line just kind of collapsed there. That's number 77 for the Falcons, Mark Richardson, the junior.
Trying to see, they did bring 6, and probably more than Juab could block. And Canyon View did a great job initially in the secondary of taking away Alex's quick look, forced him to hold on to the ball a little bit longer than he wanted to, and brought down for the loss there. As this Canyon View defense has been very good at the beginning of this first half since the opening play.
Right. Riker Richards to punt on 4th down and long. Riker gets the football, rugby style, low, and takes a friendly Juab bounce down inside the 20, and this will be marked at the 17-yard line, 18-yard line, where it'll be first down and 10 for the Falcons.
Yeah, and just Riker is so good with that directional kick. You've almost got to put 2 guys back there, because if you don't, he's going to kick it away from wherever your return man is. That time he did it as Canyon View had a return last time. This time kicks it away from him. Kind of an interesting way that landed and just rolled flat, went down there and got inside the 20. So this Juab defense that's had a couple of issues and then some defensive help for the Canyon View offense got him in the end zone the last time. See if this Juab defense cleans it up on this drive.
First down and 10 for Jensen. It's going to be a quarterback keep, runs right into Will Harmon. And a short gain on first down for Jensen, maybe a gain of 2, maybe 3 yards.
And against that read option there, as he is just reading the defensive end, and if the defensive end stays wide, then he's going to tuck that and keep it himself. This time, though, Will Harmon was meeting his responsibilities, sitting right in that hole and able to bring him down.
2nd down and 7 coming up here for the Falcons, and that'll end the first quarter. Our scoreboard, brought to you by Livingston Photography and Print, reads Juab 7, Canyon View 6. We'll be back on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, and ETV.
Since 1947, Barney Trucking's #1 investment has been dependable truck drivers like you. That's why they provide their drivers with an opportunity to earn up to $75,000 a year driving state-of-the-art equipment. Barney Trucking is now hiring drivers in Utah, Sanpete, Sevier, Juab, Millard, Beaver, Iron, Carbon, and Emery counties. Barney Trucking offers a competitive wage, solid benefits, home daily schedules, and an excellent safety record. Apply today at barneyjobs.com. barneyjobs.com.
The playoffs are here, and as always, Mid-Utah Radio and TeamHive.live are partnering with KSL Sports to bring you every second of the action, all leading up to the championship games at Greater Zion Stadium. Bookmark TeamHive.live to watch the latest of playoff action. Follow TeamHive.live on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter to stay up to date, and catch all the playoff action on TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom.
Live high school sports action on Centricom, Channel 10, ETV, and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
In the 3rd quarter.
And we welcome you back on in. It's Juab 7, Canyon View 6. As we begin quarter number 2, teams have swapped directions, and Canyon View will now be heading from the north to the south. Split back set on 2nd down and 7. And it's a jet sweep to the outside, and great blocking downfield from the Falcons as they're able to get a big gain on 2nd down, move the chains again. I think that was Kyler Roundy, the ball carrier. That's the senior running back, as he gets a good chunk of yards, and will move the sticks for Canyon View.
Did a very, very good job on blocking that. Dax Johnson had to get there from that corner spot, come off the receiver, but they had cleared that side out, and that jet sweep had gained a lot of yards right there.
They'll bring up 1st and 10 as Juab making a couple of defensive subs here. Canyon View has played relatively conservative, Cam, offensively. They haven't necessarily taken a ton of shots deep. They go screen to Macias, and Nick makes the catch, but guess who's there? Wes Nielsen taking him down instantly for a loss on the play. Great read from the safety, and makes an instant hit, wraps him up, and brings him down.
Yeah, Wes reads that, sees that, and just is able to get through a blocker and brings that down and puts Canyon View behind the chains. And Canyon View kind of outnumbered Juab out there, but Wes able to get through the block and make that tackle.
2nd down and 12. Falcons will go trips near side, single receiver far side, single back set for Johnson. Takes the snap. Surveys, Jensen throws to the outside, and it is incomplete. Jackson Jensen, the junior, 5'11", 165 pounds, has had a terrific season. Just overthrew it on that one.
Yeah, just a little outside, and interesting matchup is that time. Dax Johnson kind of out on an island right there with him, and pretty good coverage by Dax, and he has so much speed that he can close a lot on that, and was in good position, but the ball was just not delivered.
3rd down and 12. Canyon View has been in this kind of bunch formation on the near side the majority of this game today. Jensen takes the snap. Pressure coming from his left side. Going to heave it downfield at the last second, and it's out of bounds. Caught, but out of bounds. An impressive catch nonetheless, as it'll be 4th down, and a flag is thrown late in the backfield. We'll see, and it is a hold. Yeah. So if you're Juab, you decline this, I'm assuming, right? Because it makes it 4th down.
It makes it, yeah. You want the ball, or where do you want the ball? I would guess, yeah, they're going to decline that, and it's going to be 4th, and it'll go back to the original line of scrimmage.
That penalty is declined. It's on the play, 4th down.
So it'll be 4th down, and Canyon View will punt this thing away as Dax Johnson is back to receive the punt. Had a great opening return on the kickoff. Put Juab in position to score early on, and that's what got them their 7 points.
And if you can, you need to kick it away from Dax, because if he gets any kind of a crease and some room to run, you're going to see that cheat code speed.
I like that. I like cheat codes. And it's a high punt, kind of a duck coming up, and it's going to take a bounce out at the 40-yard line. So overall good field position, much better than being on your own 3, right, like the Wasps were on their previous possession. So Juab will take over. 10:55 to go here in quarter number 2.
Yeah, and really it seems like a little thing, but that ball and the poison call or whatever call Juab uses on those short punts. But Justin Stevens, who was blocking there, he hears that, and he just sprints out of bounds. He's not trying to get away from it. He was just trying to get out of bounds, where if it touches him, it doesn't matter.
Jackson goes trips to the right. It's going to be a designed rollout for Alex on 1st down. Floats it, and it is incomplete. Trying to go for Dax Johnson. It's broken up. Trying to get a number on the play there for Canyon View. I believe that was number 28 for the Falcons making that play. Cruz McIntosh.
Yeah, and looked like Dax was going to be able to bring that in, and just McIntosh got just enough of a hand in there to bat that ball away at the last minute.
2nd down and 10 for Juab. 10:49 to go here in quarter number 2. Going to go with the single receiver near side, trips to the right, single tight spot for Jackson. Takes the snap, pump fakes, little screen play. It's caught. Riker Richards with loads of room. Out past the 50 to the 40, 30, 25. Sheds another tackle, still keeps going down inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. A beautifully designed screenplay for the Juab offense, and they pick up another Nephi Federal Credit Union 1st down.
Wow, and what blocking downfield by Wes Nilsson. Wes Nilsson just didn't hit him and leave. He stayed with him, and then Riker does a good job of reading off of Wes's block and stays patient and uses it.
First down and 10. Jackson takes the empty snap. Going to float into the end zone. Wes Nielsen's there for the snag and into the Cache Valley Bank end zone. Wasps extend their lead with the PAT pending.
Yeah, just nice throw there by Alex. They got the matchup they wanted. They got Wes Nielsen kind of out there one-on-one. It was readable. Alex sees it and just throws it up there, lets Wes run up. He goes and high points that ball, and he's into the end zone.
Wes has caught a couple touchdowns now here at Southern Utah University. He had that one last year down in this end zone that might have been the catch of the year.
Yeah, it was something else, wasn't it?
And then you were worried about him for basketball because he hurt his Achilles in that game, and obviously was good to go for hoop season. That PAT here from Riker Richards is low, but it's through. Kind of a soccer-style kick there, and we know Riker's good with his foot there. 14-6, Juab leads Canyon View on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, and ETV.
Grow everything better with Azomite mineral products. Azomite is used internationally as a soil additive and organic fertilizer for lawns, gardens, and field crops in more than 50 countries around the world. Their Feed Grid product, used as a feed ingredient for livestock, is gaining popularity because research shows a potential to improve overall animal health. Azomite can be found at your IFA country stores, Steve Reagan stores, or at azomite.com. For more information, visit them on Facebook, Twitter, or at azomite.com. That's azomite.com.
Live high school sports action on Centricom, Channel 10, ETV, and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
And we welcome you back on in. It's Juab 14, Canyon View 6. Great job by the Wasps on that drive, making things easy for themselves, Cam, with those play calls.
Yeah, and very well designed plays, and the game's close. I liked how Coach Bowering, those play calls that he did have, very easy to. Very low chance of having a problem with them, and high success rate on those plays that he called right there. And he well-designed, get your team settled back down, gets them out to an 8-point lead. And now I think Canyon View right here, this is a big drive for them. And I know it's early in the game, but you have with a little momentum now offensively, and you've got to keep that offense off the field.
First down and 10. They go single receiver high, trips to the right for Jackson Jensen. Surveys, goes over the middle, and great coverage. Is that Porter Anderson in there trying to get the number, or was that?
No, that's Cooper Blackett from that free safety spot.
Cooper Blackett coming up with the deflection. Knocks it away, and it will be 2nd and 10.
And almost picture perfect right there. Didn't get a hand on the back early, but was sweeping down with that front hand, and even if the receiver gets it into his hands, he's going to make contact with the arm and the balls, and it comes out right there.
2nd down and 10. Single back set for Jensen. 2 receivers to either side. It's going to be an option read, and the ball comes out. Do the Wasps land on it? Canyon View is able to retain possession, but it's going to be a loss and bring up a 3rd down and a good chunk of play to go.
And that's the risk you run with the read option, is both running back and quarterback have got to read the same thing right there, and looked like a little bit confusion, and the ball hits the turf, and luckily Canyon View able to fall on it for them.
3rd down and 15. Got to get to the 30 if you want a first down if you're Canyon View. Jensen's going to roll out to his right. Pressure coming, loads up, throws it over the middle. It's high and incomplete. Couple of Juab Wasps getting the fingertips on it in coverage. Justin Stevens and Wes Nielsen back there.
Yeah, going for Nick Macias right there. And I think if that ball's on target, Wes Nielsen's going to intercept that ball anyway, as he had cut across. He was able to tip that up into the air, and then Justin Stevens able to get a finger on it behind the receiver, but it falls incomplete. And now you got Dax Johnson back, and you went 3 and out, and this Juab offense is going to get right back onto the turf here at SUU.
4th down and 15. Punt coming here for the Canyon View Falcons. And it's nearly blocked. Very close. Still a good punt for how close that was to getting blocked, and how far back the punter was as it goes out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Juab will take over in their own territory.
I have no idea how that got out of there. That was a great punt. That looked like that was going to be blocked right there.
Wow.
Just missed, but he missed the leg for all intents and purposes too. So great job that time as Juab got in there to block it, and that was Austin Hopawate, and he just could not get a hand on it.
That's a shout out to Mr. Joe Williams for great camera work right there getting that. Empty backfield for Jackson's going to take a shot for Dax Johnson. Dax makes the catch at the 30 and bobbled it. They're going to say it was a catch. I don't think the ball ever fully went out of his hands and hit the turf. As Dax able to make a play, move the sticks, first down.
What that bobble did, though, was not let him to put on the burst of speed as soon as he hit the ground there. Slowed him down just enough. But Juab's found a matchup that's something that they like on these verticals, and they're not deep verticals. They're just quick. Alex taking the snap and just throwing it up there and telling his receiver to go get it.
Empty backfield again for Jackson. Going to take another shot. Wes Nielsen, same play, same result, same score. And the Juab Wasps extend their lead back-to-back touchdowns, same place of the ball, same receiver to catch it in the same spot in the end zone. Wes Nielsen takes it in to the Cache Valley Bank end zone for 6.
Yeah, just a matchup there. Wes Nielsen so hard to guard out there with. Not only is he fairly tall, but he's got great hands, and then that ability to jump high and go get it. He brings it in, and Juab really extending this lead now.
He going to be your leading rebounder on the court this year for basketball?
I hope so.
Yeah. And they bobble the snap. It's pitched to the outside. Riker Richards can throw this, throws it to the far side, and it's ultimately intercepted. And what ended in a wild scramble play. Not for the faint. I don't think I've seen a 2-point conversion quite like that. It was a low snap, bobbled. Justin Stevens pitches it at the last second to Riker Richards. And good awareness by Riker to know, hey, I can throw this. And a pretty well-thrown ball from a guy who's not your quarterback.
Well, and the vision to see the backside. He decided to go to the backside right there. There was a long throw, which gave Canyon View a chance to get over and make the interception there. But nonetheless, great job by Justin to get on that ball quickly, turn out, make that pitch, and a whole lot of good things on a bad play right there.
Yeah. Porter Jackson was the intended receiver. How many times has Porter been able to say that he was the intended guy, playing middle linebacker? So Richards will now kick off for the Juab Wasps. They now have a 14-point lead after the PAT try was no good. And now Jackson's got to get back out there.
He was a little slow getting back out there on the kickoff team.
So Riker Richards will look to send this deep. The last kick Riker had, by the way, hit the back white part of the end zone. And they go with kind of an onside type kick, and it just goes out of bounds. Kind of an interesting call there. Don't think that went the way Riker was hoping.
Well, and it didn't look like they were on the same page there. Because I have seen that onside kick work before where Justin Stevens just sprints down that sideline. But, yes, doesn't look like that was on. So that's going to give Canyon View great field position. But Canyon View is going to need that field position. They've got to get some points. And, I've said kind of all year, when Juab gets out 2 scores on you, they're very, very hard to reel back in. If they get 3 scores, I'm not sure you can do it. So
right.
I think this is a big drive here for Canyon View.
Jackson Jensen in the gun. It's going to be a jet sweep to the outside. Good blocking downfield from the Falcons. They're able to get 3, maybe 4 yards out of it. That jet sweep again for Kyler Roundy, the 5'10" senior.
And they're doing a great job of setting the edge out there. And making it's that Juab second level that's got to come up and make the tackle, and it takes him some time to get there. I believe Wes Nielsen on a diving tackle got just enough of him to trip him up.
2nd down and 7. Jensen going to be a handoff up the middle. The Wasps corral there quickly. Porter Anderson in on the play as the run from Asher Groff essentially goes nowhere.
And Porter Jackson as well from that middle linebacker spot, but much better contained up front. That defensive front took care of that Canyon View offensive line and let those linebackers come in and make a play.
3rd down and 7. 8 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. Juab led 7-0. Canyon View with a good response to make it 7-6, but the Wasps with 13 unanswered. Pump fake. over the middle. Got a man, and it's hauled in at the 30. Trying to get tackled at the 20. Stiff arm, stays in bounds at the 10. Down inside the 5 and to the 2 to the 1 yard line. Once again, Trenton Ludlow, the sophomore receiver, his number has been called multiple times tonight. And a great pump fake from Jensen to free his receiver up and hit him in stride.
Yeah, perfectly thrown ball. As Riker Richards just a step behind right there, and then to stay on his feet, fights for the end zone before being brought down, but very well thrown ball. And, you know, Canyon View's finding the guy, and right now it's him that's being able to get open.
Handoff up the middle, pushing with the pile, not going to get there, is Asher Groft. He's maybe going to get a yard.
Yeah.
Say no gain on the play.
They're actually going to move it back.
Yeah.
Going to be a loss, and Canyon View's got an offensive lineman down. As that Juab team got a great push. That defensive front got a great push there. Boy, and I'm not sure they got a great spot out of that.
Yeah, forward progress, you would think.
Was inside the field goal mark there at the, what is that, at the 3-yard line, and yet that ball's going to be spotted out near the 4.
We'll take a quick break with this injury timeout and be back on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, and ETV.
At Central Valley Medical Center, we're committed to offering the best care.
In your life's first moments.
Through your life's biggest emergencies.
In your everyday help.
In those days that mean the most.
Central Valley Medical Center will be there with you through each step and stage of life, bringing the best care because we care, closer to home.
Live high school sports action on Centricom, Channel 10, ETV, and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Glad to see the young man able to get up, being helped at the sideline. Weren't able to get a number in there because that's being covered up by the coaches and training staff that's helping him off the field, but that's part of football, Cam. You're going to see those injuries, and we wish the young man nothing but the best.
And you do like to see that he is putting a little bit of weight on that injured leg, and that's always a good sign.
So 2nd and goal from the 4. Yeah, I'm really surprised by that spot, Cam. There's definitely no way they moved backwards. I could see no gain, but it's a short loss for the Falcons. It's going to be a quarterback keeper, and Jensen scampers in for his 2nd rushing score of the day. And the Canyon View Falcons are a PAT away from making this a 7-point game.
Yeah, very good. That's the same play that they've had success on, where it's basically the read option. I'm not sure there's a lot of option in that. It almost looks like it's the called play where we're just going to fake that sweep to you right there. I'm going to go up the middle as you were going to try to take that out. But the reason that play works is because they've had success on that outside sweep play against the Wasp.
The first PAT was blocked because there was a false start, so that backed him up. And now Juab's got an extra man on the field and barely able to get off. Snap is good, holds good, and the kick is up and through. So with 7:21 remaining in quarter number 2, it's Juab 20, Canyon View 13 on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network and TeamHive.live with ETV.
Harmon Tire, 895 North Main in Nephi, has been a family-owned business since 1973, providing Nephi and the surrounding areas with exceptional service for over 40 years. Harmon Tire specializes in tires, alignments, brakes, steering, suspension, wheels, shocks, struts, and more. Stop by Harmon Tire on Main Street in Nephi or give them a call at 435-623-0720 to schedule an appointment. Flat tire got you stranded? Call for 24-hour tire service. Harmon Tire, 435-623-0720.
Live high school sports action on Centricom, Channel 10, ETV, and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
And we welcome you back to the 3A state semifinals at Southern Utah University. Cam, that was a big drive for Canyon View. You were talking about it. It's tough enough when you're 2 scores behind Juab. Getting behind by 3 scores is about near impossible to make a comeback.
Yeah, it is. And just to stay in contact and keep the pressure on this Wasp team.
Score is 20-13 for Juab as that kick takes a bounce again at the 10. It's going to be picked up by Dax Johnson. We're going to see Dax go at the 10 and brought down. Great coverage downfield. When that ball takes a bounce, kind of takes the receiving team a moment to gather themselves, and that just allows your gunners to fly down the field if you're the kicking team.
Yeah, and it just throws all the timing off right there. Anything that you had set up, the walls early, He's got it, and he fielded that fairly clean, but because it hit the turf a couple of times, unable to return that up to the 20, and give credit to that great coverage team there, or coverage effort that time by Canyon View.
So this is an interesting drive now for Juab. How do they respond after that touchdown? After the last Canyon View touchdown, Juab was able to respond with a pair. Jackson pumps, going to throw. Riker Richards makes the catch in stride, out past the 30, scampers out of bounds past the 35, mark him at the 37. A good Nephi Federal Credit Union catch and run for Riker Richards for the first down.
Wow, like the design. Had that now route set up on the left side. Wes Nilsson fakes it by jumping in the air, and Riker just comes out of his slot position, makes a little out. Alex Jackson delivers on time and on target, and a nice first down play.
7 minutes, 9 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Jackson's empty gun, pumps, going to go deep now. He's got Justin Stevens, and Justin dives. What a catch from the senior Justin Stevens out past the 30-yard line. You know, he had that incredible catch against Manti. His brothers were trying to get me to say it wasn't a catch.
I had a lot
going on. There's no question that's a catch.
I had a lot telling me that wasn't a catch, and I watched it several times. I still think that was a catch. I can't see it hit the ground.
Have you seen the other angle of it?
I have not.
It's unfortunately was not a catch. But from the angles we had that night, it was ruled a catch, and we called it a catch. So no question there. Justin makes the catch. First down attempt, empty backfield for Jackson. Sets up, throws, complete again to Justin. Justin gets a great block from Peyton Park. Heads down the sideline, and he's going to tiptoe and nearly stays in bounds as he goes out at the 7.
And that was interesting. Justin is not a kid that's ever going to taunt another kid. And I saw that arm come up, and I thought that's a little early and out of character for Justin. But he was trying to keep his balance to stay in bounds. That was not an arm coming up in celebration. He's just trying to stay in bounds.
Only time he's maybe going to taunt a little bit is if it's with those said brothers that are giving him a hard time.
Now,
right?
I'm sure there's plenty that goes on there.
First and goal for the Wasps from the 8-yard line. Jackson goes empty. Peyton Park to the far side, trips to the left. Jackson surveys, throws, and just miscommunication on the timing there as it falls incomplete. Was trying to go for Wes Nielsen. We'll bring up second and goal from the 8.
And that could have been just one of those times Alex says, hey, that's not there. I'm just going to throw it away right here. And he just throws it to the back corner of the end zone and falls, harmlessly incomplete. But the Wasps, this offense is starting to find a rhythm now. And it's as good as rhythm I've seen in quite some time out of this offense.
That's scary if you're Canyon View, as Jackson finds Riker Richards, walks in for 6. And the Wasps respond, making it 26-13 with the PAT pending.
You have one of their few missed extra points on the last attempt as they just could not handle the snap there and get it down. And trying to read it, they're going to keep the offense out there. It doesn't look like it.
I don't think they are. I think this is going to be...
Yeah, Justin Stevens, Riker Richards.
Yeah. This is going to be a PAT. Snap was a little high, and the ball was fumbled on that last play. Riker made something out of nothing and nearly got the 2 points. So see how the PAT try goes here. Snap's good, holds good, kick is also good. So with 6:17 to go here in quarter number 2, it's Juab 27, Canyon View 13 on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live and ETV.
The Intermountain Power Service Corporation is committed to supporting our local schools, communities, and the economies of central and south central Utah. Each year, IPSC's 2 950-megawatt generating units provide 3 million megawatt hours of energy for communities in Utah and Southern California. The Intermountain Power Project ranks among the best of coal-based power plants in reliability, cost-effectiveness, and environmental responsibility. IPSC, honored to sponsor this sports broadcast.
Live high school sports action on Centricom, Channel 10, ETV, and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Welcome back on in. Juab Cam has responded to anything Canyon View's given them today. And how about Justin Stevens on that drive? 2 big catches to set up the Riker Richards touchdown catch.
Yeah, and great runs. A great catch and then a great run on his next reception. So great play there by Justin Stevens.
As Riker Richards sends this deep back in the end zone. underestimate the value of the touchback, especially when you're playing a team that's got athletes like Canyon View does.
Well, and I think, I think our two favorite college teams can learn something from that too as well, because you give athletes a chance in an open field and they've got space. So just to be able to have that ability to kick it into the end zone and say there is no return. And in high school, it's even a bigger deal because you go back to the 20 instead of the 25. But just eliminate any chance, make teams go 80 yards on you, and that is tough.
First down and 10. Canyon View's got trips to the right. Jensen takes the snap. Running out of time in a hurry. Keegan Hall breathing down his neck, throws across the middle of the field, and a great catch out past the 35-yard line to the 37. Trying to get a number down there inside. I believe that's number 10 for the Canyon View Falcons. Trying to get that number. Dawson Wood, the senior receiver.
Wow, and a tough catch as that was behind him. Quarterback under all sorts of duress, and then there was some pressure on his arms when he caught that ball, and yet able to bring it in and stay on his feet and get another yard or two after the catch.
Cooper Blackett defended that really well. I don't know what more you wanted Coop to do on that play, so it'll now be first down and 10. As Canyon View moves the chains, trying to stay again within striking distance here. Jensen in the gun, clap of the hands. Surveys, running out of time. Keegan Hall again getting pressure. Flushed out, throws complete, and making a man miss down the sideline. Canyon View now into Juab territory, still going, and forced out of bounds. They're going to mark him at, I believe, back at the 36-yard line. Another first down play for the Falcons.
Yeah, and move deep into Juab territory right there. And that comes, good coverage, but you lower your head, you miss that tackle, and then athletes in space, and this is what they do. As Wes Nilsson's eventually got to bump him out of bounds to get it stopped. But now Canyon View with some rhythm of their own.
Nick Macias, a hard dude to bring down as it is. Jensen. Pressure comes. Throws back shoulder. Macias makes another snag and gets out of bounds. That's back-to-back catches from the senior do-it-all Nick Macias. He plays some Wildcat quarterback from time to time. Makes a great snag there, getting out of bounds off the back shoulder.
Well, and he's doing such a good job because he is not sitting back there with all sorts of time. He's under duress and able to complete these passes.
Juab will take their second time out of the half. 5:19 to go. It's Juab 27, Canyon View 13 in the second quarter on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, and ETV.
I thought there was only one way to do college. I knew I needed training to set me up for a great career, but I didn't have 4 years. Snow helped me discover that college doesn't have to be about sitting in classes, counting down the hours. They showed me a way to get the edge I needed, and fast. The best part was with their low-cost programs and tuition assistance, I didn't have to go into debt. I was able to earn my certificate and start working right away. Snow College. This is college.
Live high school sports action on Centricom, Channel 10, ETV, and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
We welcome you back on in. It's Juab 27, Canyon View 13. 5:19 to go here in the second quarter. I think that's a good time out there by the Juab Wasps camp, kind of regroup defensively after giving up a couple big chunk plays.
Yeah, and if you can get a stop here, it's a big stop for you. We talked about the importance of Canyon View scoring, but Juab, it's just as important. You can get a stop here and get your offense who's in rhythm out there. That's a big deal.
First down at 10. Jensen, quarterback keep, and a good read. Porter Anderson coming up to make that tackle. No gain on the play for the Canyon View Falcons, 2nd and 10.
So, yeah, I think Porter's just got the assignment of the quarterback and keeps his head up right there, waits for him to kind of clear that traffic, gets a beat on him and able to bring him down right at the line of scrimmage.
2nd down and 10 as the Canyon View Falcons will huddle. Kind of got a, based on what I understand, this is kind of a similar feel to that first time these two teams played. Juab keeping a lead, but Canyon View kind of always right there still breathing.
Yeah, it does feel very similar.
Man comes in motion. It's Macias. Nick runs an inside route. Great route running from Nick Macias. Makes the catch, and that's going to be enough for first down. They're going to have first and goal at the 4. Are they rule it incomplete? He wasn't able to hold on.
Yeah, and great coverage, but I will tell you, that was an impressive route, as you called. That was an impressive route as he goes to the middle, and Juab able to make contact, and and it just came up. Yeah, so That time Wes Nilsson gets in there. But see, that's that thing. If he they don't know if you're still just trying to make a play. So I probably need to let that call go. It was in the first quarter. So
2 receivers to either side for Jensen. Steps up, fires, takes a shot, and it's intercepted. Flag does fly. Riker Richards on the return out past the 20, and he's taken down at past the 30 now. They threw that really quick. I'm wondering if this is going to stand.
Maybe an offsides on Juab, something. But it seemed it came out after the snap.
After the throw.
Yeah.
As the officials are conferring with each other here on what the penalty is going to be, and I think this is going to be against Juab. Oh, it is on Canyon View, so they call the hold. Interception will stand. First turnover of the game, and it's a big one as Riker Richards just stepped right in front and got the pick. That was double coverage.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. Great job by the Wasps being able to double up there. And Riker has had a terrific start to this game. Caught a touchdown pass, now has an interception. I think he's had a couple first down conversions as well. Wasps go empty. Jackson takes a snap, flag flies. Offside on Canyon View. Encroachment.
So big stop right here for Canyon View. You kind of got to regroup. You were down there, you were about ready to score. Momentum just switched on you very quickly right there. But this is where that culture thing, that, hey, bad things are going to happen and we have to overcome them. And we'll see how this defense responds right here to what has been a very hot Juab offense.
We've seen a lot of encroachments this entire weekend, like more than I've probably seen all year combined. I don't know if that's a point of emphasis heading into the playoffs, but one thing we've been discussing here in the booth cam over the last couple days, would you like to see free plays in high school football, kind of like you see in the NFL?
Yeah, I would, actually. I do like that.
Because as soon as they cross, it's dead in high school. Jackson, screen play, Chase Ingram with all kinds of green grass as he's into Canyon View territory, gets the block, trying to tiptoe that sideline. Gets out of bounds, and then a flag is thrown after the play. Are they going to call this a late hit on Canyon View? I don't know about that.
Or a late block out of bounds. I will wait and see. I am wondering if that sideline's a little tilted over there because kids are having a tough time keeping their balance over there. That's the last two Juab players that have tiptoed out of that.
So he goes from inside the 30. That screenplay has now worked twice for the Juab Wasps. We'll see what the call is here from our lead official.
We have a dead ball, personal foul, late hit, number 10.
Yeah, if I'm Canyon View, I'm not happy about that based on what we saw live. Let's see on the replay here. Is Chase Ingram so dangerous out with all that speed? As he gets out about... I mean, by rule, that's pretty...
I mean, he was out a long ways before that. I'm not sure the kid knew he was out because Chase wasn't acting like he was out.
First down and 10. Pitch to the outside. Ingram makes the catch, gets a good block, and good shedding of the block. Dawson Wood with a big tackle there. And I missed some of this.
Yeah, extracurriculars. Yeah, you'll see it as after the tackle, as Chase tries to get up, he's placed back to the ground right here. And you'll see it right here on our replay. There's one, and then there's the second one. So nothing that was going to hurt anybody right there. So, but good pickup. Juab down inside the 10 now on a good run by Chase. And it's been interesting to watch this Juab offense. It was Wes Nilsson. It was Justin Stevens. It was Riker Richards. And now it's Chase Ingram. So using all the weapons available.
And timeout, play clock was going to hit 0. So Juab decides to call a timeout. We'll take it as well. 3:23 to go. Wasps are out of timeouts in the first half on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network. TeamHive.live and ETV.
Zions Bank proudly supports our local communities and schools. We've been providing families and businesses with banking tools and stellar service for nearly 150 years. For helping you achieve your financial goals, Zions Bank is for you.
When you need superior coverage for your greatest investments in life, Security Insurance is the answer. Riker Osborne of Security Insurance is the type of insurance agent that makes a difference for you and your family by offering United Insurance. Visit security-ins.com.
Live high school sports action on Centricom, Channel 10, ETV, and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Welcome back on in. Quarter number 2, 3:23 to go. Juab leads 27-13 over Canyon View. Wasps knocking on the door, Cam, 2nd and 5 from the 9.
Yeah, big play right here. Alex Jackson alertly saw that play clock that's just in the end zone behind. Saw that he needed a timeout, signaled for the timeout, and Juab with a second short and a chance to score.
Robinson joins him in the backfield. It's a give to Ryan on 2nd down and 5. Ryan looks to follow his lead blocker, sheds the first tackler, still going. Ryan staying on his feet, breaking through inside the 10, and he's ripped up at about the 6-yard line. Talk about resiliency from Ryan Robinson.
And I thought we were about to see some vintage Ryan Robinson going back to his Little League football days, where Ryan could run right, left, and end up in the end zone. This time kept it condensed, did give a little bit of yardage.
Jackson roll out to the right on 3rd down over the middle, incomplete. So now you got 4th and 3 from the 8. You can get a first down at the 4. Kind of an interesting play call, and I think we're going to see a field goal try here for the Juab Wasps.
Well, then that's going to make it a 3-score game, is that right? It'd be 14.
Yeah.
That's going to put it up to 17, and that becomes a 3-score game. I think that's the right call. You get 3 scores up, and if it made it 16, I would say, yeah, you want to go for it and try to get in the end zone. But with 17 points, that's a big deal.
And for Riker, very makeable field goal here. This is just going to be about a 20-something odd field goal as it's up and good. So with 2:45 remaining here in the second quarter, Juab now leads at 30-13 over Canyon View on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, and ETV.
Rocky Mountain Turf Farm prides themselves on being family-owned and operated for 45 years. They offer locally grown Kentucky bluegrass with multiple varieties available, WaterStar certified options included. Sod is cut and delivered daily with install options available from residential to commercial. They even guarantee their grass sod to be disease-free, weed-free, alive, and growing. For more info and to see different options available, visit RockyMTNTurf.com. That's RockyMTNTurf.com.
Live high school sports action on Centricom, Channel 10, ETV, and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Welcome you back on in. Juab leads Canyon View 30-13, 2:45 to go. Definitely the right call there, Cam. Now you're up by 3 scores.
3 scores. I think that's a very good call. You get those 3 scores up, and with your offense, that means somebody's got to stop you 3 times and score on all of those as well.
And a beautiful boot from Richards that will head in for another touchback. That soccer leg coming in handy here for the Juab Wasps as Canyon View will take over at the 20-yard line. Now you absolutely need points if you're Canyon View here because you get the football to start the second half. So if you're able to get some points, head into halftime only down 2 scores.
And then get that ball and you cut it right back to a 1-score game. So not a lot of time, but plenty of time with their offensive style. 2:45, they can take their time, get down the field.
Single back set, Jensen. Roll out to his right, going to throw, and it's caught. I don't know if that was, I think that was going to be intended for Macias, but a great snag out of the air again, having himself a first half. Mr. Trenton Ludlow with a first down catch.
Yeah, just the sophomore goes up and just grabs that. That was a great play. Picks up the first down, stops the clock until they get the chain set, and then the clock begins again. So, but with, as we mentioned, Canyon View's style of play, I'm not sure the clock's an issue yet.
Yeah. First down and 10. Clock's at 2:25 for Jensen. Takes the snap, surveys, goes over the middle, and great coverage. Wes Nielsen. And they throw the flags late. Wow. Ooh,
yeah, that. and a bad angle from the. I won't say that for the side guy, but the back guy has no angle on that to make that call. And, you know, West just making a play on the ball right there. And he actually is making a play on the ball, and he has every right to go to that ball as well. Wasn't just bumping the receiver to get him off. So kind of a bad one against the Wasps, but Canyon View the benefactor of that. Now can you make something of the break?
2:18 to go is 1st and 10 for Canyon View from their own 45, knocking on Juab territory here. 2 receivers to either set. Jensen claps the hands, takes the snap, pumps. Goes on a little screen, and Macias just dropped it. It's incomplete. First down becomes second down off the incompletion. Clock stops at 2:14.
Yeah, and too bad because there was some room right there as they had set that screen up, but it's that different screen where it's going to have to be a one-on-one because the blockers are behind the receiver there as he's throwing it across the line, so linemen can't get downfield like on a classic screen play.
Second down and 10. Kind of a bunch formation to either side. Tight formation for Jensen. Surveys, pocket collapses, and Joab's going to get in and get the sack as the pile gets pushed back to about the 36-yard line, 37-yard line. Brings up a third down and extremely long to go. It's going to be about 3rd and 20.
And this time, Juab did bring some additional guys, which allowed Briar Wright, who was either at that right defensive end or at that right outside linebacker. I think they had him at the defensive end, but because of the extra pressure, Briar Wright able to get across and make that initial contact with the quarterback.
3rd down and 20. So we go 2 receivers to either side. Canyon View going to take a timeout here with 1:34 to go. We'll take one as well and be back on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, and ETV.
Dependable truck drivers like you have been Barney Trucking's #1 investment since 1947. That's why they provide their drivers with state-of-the-art equipment, ongoing training, and reliable, courteous support. Barney Trucking is now hiring Class A CDL drivers with doubles endorsement to help address our exceptional growth throughout Utah. Barney Trucking offers a competitive wage, solid benefits, home daily schedules, and an excellent safety record. Apply today at barneyjobs.com. barneyjobs.com.
Live high school sports action on Centricom, Channel 10, ETV, and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Timeout from Canyon View here, Cam. We've got a good contingency of Falcon fans that have made such a long drive. You know, that good 5 minutes it takes to get over here to Southern Utah University. But they've got a good crowd on hand for the first ever semifinal game for this program. And we talked about it in the pregame. There's a very, very good future here in Cedar City for this Falcon squad.
So, interesting. Juab's out of timeouts, or I think they'd be using them here as well, as they may want one more shot back, and they're going to get off sides there. And
and
that was the right call. Juab. Yeah. The Juab players are pointing, but the official didn't see it, and I didn't see that one. I just saw the Juab players coming and kind of showed their hand that they're going to bring some pressure here, but my point is, does Canyon View, because they are facing still 3rd and long right now, do they run the ball, try to burn the clock down, or are they going to try to go for the score here? And it looks like they're set up for a scoring play.
Jensen surveys. Pocket collapses, throws over the middle, and it is nearly intercepted. Wes Nielsen got his paws on it. And then a push from Nick Macias. And they're not going to throw – I don't know how you don't throw a flag on that. You can't just grab a guy by the helmet and push him. He and Riker Richards were getting into it.
Yeah, that is interesting. And
that's more than a little bumping and shoving. That's a full-on wow.
Coach Bowering's trying to get an explanation on that. But nonetheless, the incompletion play is going to stop it, and it's going to bring up 4th down. And the pay clock now is under 10, and I'm not sure Canyon View's aware of it as they get set up for the 10. It's down to 2.
They barely got it off.
Yeah.
Kick takes a spiral, takes us a bounce at the 20-21-yard line. Wasps with 1:21 will take over.
Yeah, and lots of time. Now, Juab does have no timeouts, but I would expect right here Coach Bowering is going to take some shots. You're not pin deep. You're at the 20. See if you can hit something across the middle, get down the field, and try to get one more into the end zone. And I think this time, instead of going for a field goal, he will try to get it in the end zone given the opportunity.
Almost a nail in the coffin kind of a situation here if you're able to get 6+ for Juab. Now, Canyon View will get the football to start the second half. Wasps are out of timeouts. Canyon View has 1 timeout remaining as they go empty. Chase Ingram comes in motion. Jackson takes the snap, surveys, steps up, going to fling it out to Chase. Chase makes the catch out past the 35 and stays on his feet out past to about the 38-yard line. First down. Clock will stop momentarily here to reset the chains.
And Juab quickly up to the line, and lots of time even for this Juab team. They don't need to go too fast, just need to continually get first downs.
Roll out for Jackson, throws. And a catch made for a first down. That's Wes Nielsen as our clock is now under a minute at 58 seconds. We'll stop to move the chains again. Wasps stay hurried.
Just a safe route right there. Wes just pushed him down, then checked up.
Take going for it all. Kind of a triple receiver thing, and it's intercepted. Alex Jackson with just his 4th interception of the year as he took a shot deep. And there's a flag clear back at the 45-yard line. So this is going to be interesting here.
I think this is going to be a roughing.
They call a hold. So it's declined. Canyon View now gets it back with 44 seconds left. They'll have it clear back at the 10.
And this game has got a little bit chippy as there seems to be extracurriculars now after every play.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can see the end of this one. Great interception, and does a great job staying on his feet.
Yeah.
Chase Ingram has to make the tackle right there. But now Canyon View, now you're pinned. 44 seconds. You know Juab has no timeouts. I might be a little more safe right here. Try to get into the locker room.
First down and 10 for Canyon View. As Cam just mentioned, those 44 seconds remaining as Jensen rolls out. Is going to throw it. It's complete. A great tackle that time by Riker Richards. And the pass was complete. We got more pushing going on.
Yeah, on the backside, really late contact going on, but good form tackle that time by Riker Richards out in the flat.
Clock's ticking down to 23 seconds left. It was a gain of 5. Second down. Jensen throws over the middle. Incomplete. And the Wasps able to get a stop there. So third down and 5 with 15 seconds remaining.
Cooper Blackett comes up, separates the receiver from the ball right there, and once again a little behind, but a little more pressure starting to get into that backfield of this offense of Canyon View.
Third down and 5. Falcons break the huddle. This is interesting here, Cam, because if I'm Canyon View, I'm just taking a knee at this point. Juab can't stop the clock, and they'll go with a safe run up the middle. And it's good for about 4. It'll make it 4th and 1, and that's going to do it for the first half.
Unless they take a timeout, and no timeout, so that's where it'll go.
Coming up, we've got our Jones & DeMille Engineering halftime show. Your local award-winning engineering firm, that's Jones & DeMille. We'll break down what happened in that first half next on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, and ETV.
Hi, I'm Barrett Hilton with TeamHive.live, where we've created a locally run video streaming platform for Utah schools. On our website, you're not going to wade through a bunch of unrelated content. You bring up TeamHive.live and you're just going to find a lot of high school sports and events. We've created tools that make it super easy for you to create events and stream to our site. And if you ever need help with anything, you can give me a call. So I want to invite your school to join the team. If you're a Utah high school, you can stream live on TeamHive. That's TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom.
Grow everything better with Azomite mineral products. Azomite is used internationally as a soil additive and organic fertilizer for lawns, gardens, and field crops in more than 50 countries around the world. Their Feed Grid product, used as a feed ingredient for livestock, is gaining popularity because research shows a potential to improve overall animal health. Azomite can be found at your IFA country stores, Steve Reagan stores, or at azomite.com. For more information, visit them on Facebook, Twitter, or at azomite.com. That's azomite.com.
I'm Dr. Sorensen. I'm a board-certified pediatrician, and I'm the newest addition to the team of doctors here at Central Valley Medical Center. My goal is to work closely with you when making decisions about your child's health. After all, you know them better than anyone else.
I think as a mom, it can be really overwhelming to find a doctor who's a really good fit for your family. I look for someone who I can trust. It's so validating and comforting knowing that I can call and get the answers I need from Dr. Sorensen and his staff.
I look forward to meeting you and your child and bringing you the best care closer to home.
Harmon Tire, 895 North Main in Nephi, has been a family-owned business since 1973, providing Nephi and the surrounding areas with exceptional service for over 40 years. Harmon Tire specializes in tires, alignments, brakes, steering, suspension, wheels, shocks, struts, and more. Stop by Harmon Tire on Main Street in Nephi or give them a call at 435-623-0720 to schedule an appointment. Flat tire got you stranded? Call for 24-hour tire service. Harmon Tire, 435-623-0720.
The Intermountain Power Service Corporation is committed to supporting our local schools, communities, and the economies of central and south central Utah. Each year, IPSC's two 950-megawatt generating units provide 3 million megawatt hours of energy for communities in Utah and Southern California. The Intermountain Power Project ranks among the best of coal-based power plants in reliability, cost-effectiveness, and environmental responsibility. IPSC, honored to sponsor this sports broadcast.
I thought there was only one way to do college. I knew I needed training to set me up for a great career, but I didn't have 4 years. Snow helped me discover that college doesn't have to be about sitting in classes, counting down the hours. They showed me a way to get the edge I needed, and fast. The best part was with their low-cost programs and tuition assistance, I didn't have to go into debt. I was able to earn my certificate and start working right away. Snow College. This is college.
Live high school sports action on Centricom, Channel 10, ETV, and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Zions Bank proudly supports our local communities and schools. We've been providing families and businesses with banking tools and stellar service for nearly 150 years. For helping you achieve your financial goals, Zions Bank is for you.
When you need superior coverage for your greatest investments in life, Security Insurance is the answer. Riker Osborne of Security Insurance is the type of insurance
all contributing to what's been a great weekend of football. Starting on Thursday, we had the 8-man games in a blizzard, and then some ice 1A games yesterday. By the 2A games, Cam, it was pretty nice. Got a little cold there in that last Emory-San Juan shootout, but it's been a great weekend of football across the board, and we're just getting started this morning. We got another game coming up here with Morgan and Grantsville, but what'd you like in that opening half there, specifically from the Juab Wasps?
Well, from Juab, I think that offense got clicking. Now, I think it was huge. You get Peyton Park involved right off the get-go on the first play of the game, because at that point, I think Canyon View's like, hey, that kid had a broken arm. Is he out there as a decoy, or what are we doing? Peyton scores first play of the game. Now, hey, that's Peyton Park, and we've got to be aware of him. And then I think Canyon View came out and did a great job getting a couple of stops there. I think they got a couple of 3-and-outs, and then that Juab offense kind of found its rhythm. And what happened there, we talked in the pregame about Alex Hughes does a great job distributing to all of his weapons, but it was kind of funny. He did that, but he stuck with one for a drive, and then he went to the next one, and he went to the next one. And I think what he's doing is Canyon View makes adjustments to whoever the hot man is for the Wasps. Alex goes and finds somebody else right there that's got a better matchup.
Your scoring summary, Juab struck first, as mentioned. Alex Jackson, 40 yards to Peyton Park on the first play of the game, made it 7-0. Jackson Jensen had a 2-yard run. Canyon View was able to block the kick, made it 7-6, or Juab blocked the kick, rather. Wes Nielsen, 18 yards from Jackson, made it 14-6, and then Jackson found Nelson for 25 yards to make it 26, as two-point conversion was no good off the botched snap. Canyon View answers with a Jackson Jensen 1-yard run to make it 20-13, and then Riker Richards 7 yards from Alex Jackson to make it 27-13, and then 30-13 with the Riker Richards 23-yard field goal. That's your scoring summary. Let's go over some team stats overall, Cam. 15 first downs for Juab, 10 for Canyon View in that first half. Net yards rushing, 17 apiece, which
wow.
that doesn't surprise us entirely.
Yeah.
We knew these teams were going to throw the football. Net yards passing, 328 for the Wasps, 185 for Canyon View. Both teams turned the ball over one time, an interception for both quarterbacks. So,
yeah, 328 yards. That's a big number even for Alex Jackson in a half right there. And in this first matchup, Canyon View able to throw for over 425 yards. So you have, at times I think this defense I think the coaches have been a little frustrated defensively, but at a much better pace than it was during the initial meeting of these two teams.
Total offense 345 for Juab, 202 for Canyonville. Wasps averaging 11.5 yards per play.
Yeah,
that's pretty darn good.
Yeah,
and not bad for Canyonview on the other side. You get 4.9 a pop from them. That turnover really hurt them a lot more than Juab's turnover hurt them. They're both near the end of the first half. So, looking at some individual numbers here. Rushing, Kyler Roundy and Asher Groff both with 13 yards on the ground. Jackson Jensen is a -9 for the day with a couple of those sacks. So. Both of the touchdowns for the Falcons, though, have come on the ground, both from Jackson Jensen. Interesting when you're in the net negative and you have two touchdowns. So Ryan Robinson with 22 on the ground for the Juab Wasps. Chase Ingram with 5, and then Alex Jackson had the one sack that brought him to a -10. Jackson Jensen, 11 of 23, a $185 in that interception. He's been sacked 3 times. That's been another thing Juab's done very well today. Trenton Ludlow, 4 catches, 108 for the sophomore. How about he had some critical catches too at critical times on both of those scoring drives for them.
Yeah, big first down catches for him, and kind of the kid that flies under the radar, and he's come up big.
Nick Macias, 4 for 27, 2 for 22 for Dawson Wood. Receiving for the Juab Wasps, should say Alex is 15 of 23 with an interception, 328 yards, 4 touchdowns, only been sacked once. Wes Nielsen, 4 for 68 and 2 scores. Riker Richards, 3 for 66 and 1. Justin Stevens, 3 for 57. 2 for 56 for Chase Ingram. 2 for 48 and a score for Peyton Park. And 1 for 33 for Dax Johnson. So that's 6 different receivers, all with a minimum of 33 yards.
And that's a half. That's a half.
Right.
So, yeah, that's a pretty good half there by that Juab offense. And I thought about midway through, or towards the end of that first quarter, they really found their rhythm and started to really get the ball out quicker. They picked up the pace a little bit, and things started to go well for them.
Coming up on our Jones and DeMille Engineering halftime show, we'll preview our Salt Creek Veterinary second half kickoff. What do the Wasps need to do to get back to the state championship game? Well, what does Canyonview need to do to get back in the game here today? We'll be back on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, and ETV.
Zions Bank proudly supports our local communities and schools. We've been providing families and businesses with banking tools and stellar service for nearly 150 years. For helping you achieve your financial goals, Zions Bank is for you.
When you need superior coverage for your greatest investments in life, Security Insurance is the answer. Riker Osborne of Security Insurance is the type of insurance agent that makes a difference for you and your family by offering United Insurance. Visit security-ins.com. Eat fresh, refresh at your local Subway stores in Mona and Gunnison. Fresh bread baked daily, better, fresher ingredients, all new sandwiches and some improved favorites. Whether it's hot toasted subs, flatbread sandwiches, salads, or getting your morning started with a full menu of delicious breakfast items, Subway is ready. If you're planning a party or get-together, Subway has party planners or giant subs. You've got to refresh to be fresh. That's your Subway stores in Mona and Gunnison.
Since 1947, Barney Trucking has built a reputation of unparalleled customer service and satisfaction in the trucking industry. Barney Trucking is now hiring drivers statewide, including Beaver, Millard, Sevier, San Pete, Juab, Carbon, Emery, Utah, and Salt Lake counties, as well as many other locations. The job includes a home daily schedule, excellent pay, benefits, training, retirement, a positive work environment, and requires a Class A CDL license with doubles endorsement. To apply, go to barneyjobs.com. That's barneyjobs.com.
Hi, I'm Barrett Hilton with TeamHive.live, where we've created a locally run video streaming platform for Utah schools. On our website, you're not going to wade through a bunch of unrelated content. You bring up TeamHive.live and you're just going to find a lot of high school sports and events. We've created tools that make it super easy for you to create events and stream to our site. And if you ever need help with anything, you can give me a call. So I want to invite your school to join the team. If you're a Utah high school, you can stream live on TeamHive. That's TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom.
Grow everything better with Azomite mineral products. Azomite is used internationally as a soil additive and organic fertilizer for lawns, gardens, and field crops in more than 50 countries around the world. Their Feed Grid product, used as a feed ingredient for livestock, is gaining popularity because research shows a potential to improve overall animal health. Azomite can be found at your IFA country stores, Steve Reagan stores, or at azomite.com. For more information, visit them on Facebook, Twitter, or at azomite.com. That's azomite.com.
At Central Valley Medical Center, we're committed to offering the best care.
In your life's first moments.
Through your life's biggest emergencies.
In your everyday help.
In those days that mean the most.
Central Valley Medical Center will be there with you through each step and stage of life, bringing the best care because we care. Closer to home.
Live high school sports action on Centricom, Channel 10, ETV, and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Our Jones in the Mill halftime show rolls on as we prepare to wrap this halftime show up. Jones in the Mill supports local programs and academic and athletic achievements. They build relationships and work passionately, and that is a winning combination. Tanner Wilkinson and Cam Wright with you here at Eccles Coliseum on the campus of Southern Utah University. Cam, both teams have now come out for the second half. Biggest thing, if you're Juab, to maintain your lead.
I think it starts right here on defense. If you can stop Canyon View as they get the ball, I think you're going to make things very difficult on Canyon View as they're down 3 scores already. But I think you've got to get a stop here, and the opposite is true for Canyon View. Hey, we're going to climb in, but we've got to make the most of this first possession, get it in the end zone, and see if we can do some good things with it.
So Canyon View comes out with a 17-point deficit. Their goals, they got to score on this first possession, first of all, to try and make this interesting.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely critical, and they've showed they've got the ability to move the ball. And they've drove down there. The one time they came away empty after an interception, but after a very good drive, they did have the big play as Macias with a great catch and run down the sideline. Trey Bueller's also, he's a big junior there. He wears number 7, and he'll be back, but he's made some great catches. And so I think the ability to get down the field and get it in the end zone's there. And then if they get inside the 5 with that running game and that read option look, very tough to defend. But they've got to get down there, and I think it's absolutely critical they get this score to start the third quarter off.
On TeamHive.live and ETV, we'll be leaving our Mid-Utah radio counterpart behind for that Grantsville-Morgan game we've got coming up. That should be an interesting one, a rematch of the state championship last year. That's a big rivalry between those two schools playing. I believe that this will be the 58th meeting all time.
Well, yeah.
It might even be more than, I think I'm getting dyslexic. I think it's the 86th.
Oh, all right.
I got my numbers flipped there. This is going to be a big deal coming up. Grantsville's the defending champs. Morgan's undefeated, beat them earlier in what was a close game for a while. It was 20-20 for a good stretch, and then
Morgan pulls out there at the end. But I expect that game to be close. I mean, if I had to pick the favorite, it's Morgan. But, a lot of pride with that Grantsville bunch. They are the defending state champions. Nobody's replaced them yet.
That's right.
There was 2 undefeated teams in front of them, but, I think it would have been, it was interesting how close, even with Morgan beating Grantsville, how close they were in the RPI.
Yeah,
I also thought it was interesting the separation between Juab and Morgan in the RPI, but – so, I look forward to that. I think that's going to be a fun one. And, I didn't know how I felt about these 10 o'clock games, but I think I like them. And especially I think I'd like that 1 o'clock game down here to Cedar. As good as weather as you're going to get, it happens in that early afternoon. Let the 4A teams take that night air. And not only that, tendency for the wind to pick up in Cedar City in the afternoon. So
that's right. And you and I will get a catch, or at least listen to a good chunk of our college teams later this evening. Yep. So some good college games today as well. We got Tennessee and Georgia kicking off at 1:30. That's a massive, massive matchup with the college football landscape. And I believe that game's at Georgia, And it is. Yeah, it's at Sanford Stadium in Athens. So Tennessee's not going to be able to rip those goalposts down and go throw them in a river.
No.
But Juab will kick off to Canyon View to start the second half. Wasps again in the gold helmets. First time I've seen them in the maroons all year, Cam, and that's made a world of a difference there. And then the gold pants, Canyon View. Black helmets, white jerseys, white pants. As Richard sends this deep, as he has multiple times, and it is into the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah, caught right there on the Thunderbird, where it says Thunderbirds midway through the end zone there. But once again, here we go. Canyon View comes out, big plays. Jackson Jensen, the junior quarterback, has got to get this thing out. They've got to do it. Now, they've had some success running the ball, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them maybe go to a little bit more of that running game. Now, that's not who they are, but I think that running game has helped open up their passing game a little bit for them.
First down and 10 for the Canyon View Falcons on the first play of the second half. Sends a man out in the flat. It is a little bit of a screen play to the outside, and a good run on first down out to the 25-yard line and make it 26. It's a gain of 6 on the play.
Yeah, and Wes Nilsson there to make the tackle. And as chippy as that got in the first half, you kind of got to focus after the play and see if any extracurriculars. Didn't see any there.
Asher Groft with the catch coming out of the flat. Second down and 4. Jensen sends a man in motion again. It's going to be a handoff up the middle to Groft, and he's going to get about 2, make it third down and about 2.5, 3 to go.
Yeah, very manageable here. That little swing pass to Groff, the first play, more or less a running play, just a version of a sweep as they get it out to him quickly. Dive it up the middle, see where they go here, and I would look for that little bit of that read option and maybe Jensen keeping the ball himself.
So here we go, third down and 3. Jensen getting a new play call in from the sideline. Canyon View is going to have to use a timeout early here in quarter number 3, not barely a minute in.
Kind of tells you they know the importance of this drive as well.
We'll take a timeout as well on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live and ATV.
Harmon Tire, 895 North Main in Nephi, has been a family-owned business since 1973, providing Nephi and the surrounding areas with exceptional service for over 40 years. Harmon Tire specializes in tires, alignments, brakes, steering, suspension, wheels, shocks, struts, and more. Stop by Harmon Tire on Main Street in Nephi or give them a call at 435-623-0720 to schedule an appointment. Flat tire got you stranded? Call for 24-hour tire service. Harmon Tire, 435-623-0720.
Live high school sports action on Centricom, Channel 10, ETV, and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Welcome back on in. Juab leads 30-13. Just a minute into the second half. Canyon View already having to burn a timeout, Cam. But you got to get back in the game before your timeouts really become a concern, so make sure you get the right play in here.
Yeah, and I don't think they like the setup right there. So coaches from the sideline said we're going to set it up. Now the formation's the same, so we'll see what the play call is.
Jensen nearly draws Juab off sides. The outside backer there, or defensive end Keegan Hall, stayed across as the ball's tipped and incomplete, just a little bit high again. Cooper Blackett was there on the intended receiver. I believe that was Dawson Wood. Fourth down, and Canyon View doesn't really have much of a choice but to punt here.
Yeah, 3 and out. Now, Canyon View has done a great job punting, and if you watch these punts, you might think, well, they've just kicked them high and short. What they've done is kept them out of Dax Johnson's hands, and so that's a win. See if this continues here.
Macias handles the punting duties. It's a good boot. It's going to take a bounce at the 30. Now down inside the 20 as Dax is just going to let this one roll inside the 15. Mark it at the 12. So the Wasps will take over. A really good punt there. Kept it kind of away from Johnson and took a really good bounce.
Well, and he didn't want to take that risk once it got on the ground and said, that's, football coaches will tell you how important it is to field that punt because, Canyon View picked up an extra 20 yards on roll right here. Pins Juab back inside that 15 where this offense has got to come out and go. Now, we talked about the importance for that offensive start for Canyon View. They didn't get it. This defensive start becomes absolutely critical for them.
Falcons showing blitz. Chase Ingram comes in motion. It's a give to Ryan Robinson. Ryan has a hole and a good block on the outside from Peyton Park, and Ryan able to get out of bounds. And wow, they're not going to. Ryan's clearly out of bounds and just gets thrown to the ground, and the officials decide not to throw the flag, and Coach Bowering has every right to be upset.
Well, and I'll tell you, you got a touch on Chase Ingram on one where the defender for Canyon View wasn't sure he was out of bounds, and then you get this, and there's no call there. So a little bit interesting. The contact did start inbounds, and It was kind of the extra after they were both out of bounds.
Wasps get a first down. Ingram goes in motion, play action, and boy, just blew up quickly on the blitz as Jackson is sacked. I believe that, trying to get a number there, 15, 16. Jake Hunter with the sack for Canyon View.
And Canyon View that time brought 7.
Yeah.
They brought 7. There was only 4 in coverage, and everybody else came. Now, Juab, if they continue to do that, you're going to see some screens. You're going to see some quick hitters that are going to leave them a little bit vulnerable.
Jackson throws into the turf as that pressure came in again. Canyon View's got a game plan here in the second half.
Yeah, they're gonna try to pressure Alex, and I would not be surprised to see some kind of a screen here, or even just that quick vertical where they're just throwing it over the top. We saw that work with Wes Nilsson a couple of times. Peyton Park checked into the game, so once again, that could be a route for him.
Third down, about 15 to go for the Juab Wasps. Pressure shows again. Blitz comes. Jackson picks it up, goes deep, pitch and catch with Peyton Park, and Peyton unable to get to the football there. It falls incomplete. Now Juab going to have to punt this away.
Yeah, big stand there. Good stand by that Canyon View defense. They needed it. Their offense let them down a little bit, but the defense stepped up, and it's going to give that offense another chance. And we've had 2 possessions, and we still have 9:40 on the clock here. So no first downs for either team,
yeah.
and lots of time left in this ball game.
Fourth down. Riker Richards on to punt. Riker, as you mentioned, those directional kicks, very important when you're dealing with a guy like Macias back there. On the punt return. Snap to Riker's good. It's going to be a kick right up the middle for Richards. Fair catch called for at the 41-yard line. Macias probably could have tried to make a run with that, but he decides to secure the football. 1st and 10 Canyon View at their own 41.
Yeah, and good field position. Nothing wrong with that. If you're not comfortable right there, make sure you get the catch. He made that early, and he probably, if he had to do it again, I think he'd take his chances there with the return. But safe play and good field position for this Falcon team to start on this offensive drive.
So it'll be first down for Canyon View. Some of the better field position they've had all day. Jensen sends a man out in motion, bobbles the snap, recovers, takes a shot deep, one-on-one. Justin Stevens goes back and makes the interception. Back at the 15-yard line at the 20, out of bounds, and a flag comes in. They're going to call Cooper Blackett for just tackling the guy to the ground.
And I think it's that I think is the rule right there. That's the defenseless player. It's a blindside block. You can't do that anymore. That's what they're trying to get away from. And I think that we'll try to check it out on the replay, but I think that's what it is. It's not necessarily a clip, but the guy's got to know you're coming. With those crackback blocks and those big-time blocks. But it's going to happen after the interception, and so that will go back, and Juab will maintain it. And we'll watch that after the Steve. And what a catch by Justin Stevens. Over the shoulder, makes a couple of good moves, and perfect position as he, it's a legal block, but it's blindside, and so the defenseless player there, and I think that was well within the intent of the rule.
Wasps now lead the turnover battle 2-1. Terrific catch from Justin Stevens. To be in coverage like that, make those adjustments, which he makes those adjustments as a receiver, so benefit of playing both ways, right? First down and 10. Ryan Robinson gets the carry. Ryan has terrific blocking, follows his lead blocker out to the 15-yard line, and he's going to get brought down at about the 16 after a gain of 6 or 7 on first down.
Yeah, and a great play call there. You know that Canyon View has said, hey, we're sending the heat. Jackson doesn't get to stand back there and throw the ball. So you make it. You just give a quick hitter there to Ryan Robinson, gets past those on rushers, and then able to pick up a nice gain.
2nd down and 3 for the Juab Wasps. Dax Johnson and Peyton Park go out to the left. Man in motion's Chase Ingram. It's a give to Ryan again. Robinson cuts back upfield, and good job by the Canyon View defense to continue on their pursuit of the football. Ryan forward progress does get him a yard, so it'll now be 3rd and 2.
Wow, and it looked like Ryan maybe had some space, but Canyon View closed that down quickly, and just a great form tackler where they wrapped him up. Probably could have been a little lower, but able to wrap him up, stop the progression right there, and not allow Ryan to get that first down. One of the few times Ryan did not fall forward.
Yeah. 3rd down and 2 for the Wasps. Jackson takes the snap. Little side route for Peyton Park. Peyton makes the catch and secures it, gets out of bounds. They're going to rule him inbounds. Either way, Peyton gets the first down, and he doesn't want to come out. He was ready to go back to the huddle. They obviously need to keep him healthy heading into next week should the Wasps continue with their lead here in Cedar City.
Well, and it's been great, the amount that they've got Peyton involved, because there's got to be that psychological part these players need to get over after a big injury.
Single back set for Jackson on 1st and 10. Alex awaits the snap. Give to Ryan Robinson. Ryan follows that blocker, falls forward. Not going to be much of anything on the play. Another good come-from-behind tackle that time by Jake Hunter, the middle linebacker.
And I would not be surprised to see screen here, because this is an obvious passing situation for the Juab Wasps. They brought a lot of linebackers on that last one, and see if they do here, or if they show and expect that screen. Yeah, they back out.
Jackson surveys, taking a shot deep. He's got a man. It's a duck going up and getting the football at the last second. It's going to fall incomplete. Great effort by Austin Park to go locate the football with the defender in his grill, and he nearly brought it in.
Yeah, and that was a long throw by Alex up there for a long time. Austin had stretched the field and does a great job coming back from it. Alex lets that go at about the 12, and Austin is going to go up at about the 40 to make that play, and he gets up there, brings it in, and just through the ground, can't hang on to it.
3rd down and 10. Jackson tries to go for Wes Nielsen, incomplete. I actually think that's a pretty good no call. I think both players were hand fighting there, so you kind of let that one go. And Juab will have to punt for the 2nd time in this quarter.
Yeah, they do pick up 1 first down and burn that extra time off the clock, but they're going to have to punt it down right there. And once again, good pressure as Wes could only get one hand free to get up there, just went off his fingertips.
4th down and 10. Riker Richards to punt for the Juab Wasps. Has done a great job in that category today. The senior. Snap is a little high. Riker easily gets it, and it's a low kick. Macias is going to field this with some room. To the outside, Macias to the 50, to the 40, and he scampers out of bounds near the 35-yard line. Really good field position here for Canyon View. Haven't been able to take advantage so far, though, in this 3rd quarter, Cam. Juab's defense made some great adjustments in addition to the Canyon View defense.
Yeah, and Canyon View's been winning the field position battle this second half with a punt that kind of flipped the field, and then the interception, but with the penalty on top of it, kept Juab pinned, and Juab hasn't kind of been able to get out of its own way to get out of the shadow of its goal line. So Canyon View now great field position, 36 yards from the end zone, and it's a time they really need to get into that end zone.
1st down and 10. Jackson Jensen in the gun. It's going to be a draw on 1st down, and Porter Anderson coming up with Will Harmon to make that stop as the ball went to Asher Groft.
Yeah, this Juab linebacking core has actually kind of had a really good day between Will's assignment's obviously different than Porter's assignment, but 2 kids that live west of Nephi, they're neighbors. They're probably 2 blocks away from each other, but they're the closest thing, and working very well in tandem back there at that linebacker position.
2 receivers to either side for Jackson Jensen, single back set. for the Canyon View Falcons on 2nd and 10. Jackson, clap of the hands, surveys, going to throw to the outside, and Wes Nielsen got a fingertip on it, and then it was nearly complete to the intended receiver. It falls incomplete, 3rd and 10.
Yeah, Wes made a great jump on the ball, read that perfectly, just couldn't bring it in, and when he tipped it up, gave the Canyon View receiver another chance to make the play. Couldn't do it, but good play by Wes as he makes a great play jumping that ball right there.
3rd down and 10 as the Falcons will break the huddle here. This big 3rd down. I think you're in 4-down territory regardless, both with time, score, and field position right now. But a big couple plays coming up here for the Falcons on offense. Snap to Jensen. It's low. Picks it. Throws over the middle. It's high. Complete. And a 1st down. I believe that was Trenton Ludlow again making that catch. He has been terrific just a sophomore. Him and Jensen going to be a dynamic duo next season, but he's had himself some semifinal game.
Yeah, and does a great job of getting that ball in his hands and then hanging on as Cooper Blackett tries to knock the arms out. Can't do it that time and able to hang on to the ball and bring it in.
Had over 100 yards in the first half on 4 catches. It's a bad snap, and it's recovered by the running back there. That's Asher Groff that's able to fall on it. It's a loss of 3.
Wow, and tried to see it on the replay. Don't know if it hit the center's backside on the way back, but they had a pulling guard coming out of there, and he may have got there quick enough that the ball hit him.
He hit his knee.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
Big mistake for Canyon View. Trips to the right on 2nd and 14. Jensen throws, has single coverage, and diving to make the catch. They're going to say that hit the ground, incomplete. He was trying to get the ball to Macias. 3rd down and 15, 14 coming up.
Yeah, Juab dodges a bullet as Dax Johnson slips right there, and he is wide open out there and just unable to bring it in, trapped it to the ground. And I've said some things maybe. Some calls have made me wonder, but I think on these completions, these officials have been right on top of those and made very good calls there.
Well, and one of the nice things is with this turf, you see some of those black beads come up. It's obvious something's making contact with the ground. Obvious the football made contact there. 3rd down and 14 for Jensen. Clap of the hands, surveys, rolls to his right. Pressure comes from Keegan Hall, throws. It's caught down at the 1-yard line. Trying to get a number again inside there. Is that... Now flags come flying in. Tempers have been flaring all morning long as we're near noon officially on our clock, and that's really unfortunate for Canyon View. I think it's after the play, so the 1st down will stand. We'll just see where they end up marking this.
and you've got 1st and goal at the 1, and this is going to back you up 15, and so now you're looking at 1st and goal at the 16, and a huge difference because when you've been inside the 5, you've been able to get into the end zone. Oh.
So they call the personal foul. I'm very confused by what the officials are doing now. Now he's got to march the other way, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so
there we go. Okay. Like, Bud, you're going the wrong way there.
And Canyon View was coming up. I was wondering if that was going to go half the distance, but it doesn't. It comes back out to the 16.
So it's 1st down, and so it's not going to be 1st and goal.
No.
They'll still have a chance at a 1st down. But a big mental mistake there from Canyon View. You would have had 1st and goal at the 1. Now it's 1st and 10 from the 16. Jensen throws on the screen. It's complete, and he's got blockers out front. Wasps do a good job getting to the football. It's still going to be a gain of about 7 or 8 on 1st down. There's a lot of green grass. Juab gobbled that up in a hurry.
Yeah, closed. And so Juab comes on sends some pressure that time. Canyon View had the right play called and able to pick up good yardage there.
2nd down and 3. Ball at the 9. You can get a 1st down between the 6 or 7. Robus. Jackson Jensen in the gun. Single back set. Gets a one-on-one. Going to take a shot at the end zone in double coverage, and Macias goes up and nearly hauls that in. It falls incomplete. What an effort from Nick Macias to just go up and make a play on the football. 3rd down coming up.
Yeah, high points that. Goes up high and gets it. And Wes Nilsson able to get a little arm in there, but I think that was just all. He couldn't get it tucked away before he made contact with the ground, and the ball pops out.
3rd down and 3 for the Canyon View Falcons. In 4-down territory. Been a quick moving third quarter. No one scored yet here in the second half. Jensen roll out to his right, going to throw. Incomplete.
So now interesting here, because you are down 3 scores. You can cut it to 2 with a field goal. We talked about Canyon View's field goal kickers only kicked 1 this year, but this is basically where he was kicking the extra point for him after they had the false start penalty. But it looks like they're going to leave the offense on, and Jensen's going to come back out.
Juab faithful that have made the trip down to Cedar City are making some noise. 4th down and 3. Can Jackson Jensen keep the Canyon View offense either on the field or get him to the end zone here? Throws over the middle, and it is incomplete. Wes Nielsen got a finger on it, and the Wasps take over on downs with the defensive stand.
Yeah, Wes Nilsson maybe could have intercepted that. Might have been one of those, hey, I'm just knocking this down because it is 4th down. And that's a couple of times on this drive where Wes Nilsson has jumped the route beautifully and able to force some incompletions there.
You know, Wes has made a bit of a position change and has had some different assignments so far in these playoffs. Boy, I tell you what, he has not just adjusted well, he's thriving.
Yeah, Wes, who was at that free safety, has kind of moved to that strong safety and making plays now from that position.
Quick hitter on 1st down. It is Wes Nielsen making the catch as he gets out of bounds for a gain of 11 on 1st down. That'll move the change for another Nephi Federal Credit Union 1st down for the Wasps.
And Juab at this point, I think, content to take the little dink and dunk things instead of the big bulk play or bulk yardage plays and start to burn some of this clock.
Jackson on 1st down, throws ball batting.
Whoa, what a play.
Wow. Defensive end just jumping up. Almost could have intercepted that.
Yeah, Scotty Irons, the junior, only 5'9", got up right there and able to bat that down as he just read Alex and went up high and one-armed that.
We've talked about the athletes on this Canyon View team as Jackson goes to the huddle. 20 on the play clock here. 2nd down and 10 here for the Juab Wasps. Marker still showed fur. There we go. Now it's 2nd down.
Look for a vertical here. Oh, look for a false start.
Little miscommunication there with the line as Chase Ingram wasn't sure if he was supposed to go. I think he just jumped. I think Chase just jumped his route a little early there. So a false start will back Juab up. 2nd down and 15.
And I think Alex saw a read there, and I think he probably took a little longer making the play as he was making some audibles back behind. And, yeah, didn't get it that time as it jumped.
3:24 to go here in our 3rd quarter. It's Juab 30, Canyon View 13. The first of 4 games today. We're bringing you the first 2 on TeamHive.live. NETV. As Jackson takes the snap. It's a little wheel route. Ryan Robison making a couple guys miss. Still going. Ryan goes down at about the 25-yard line. Gets about 10 of those yards back to make it a little more manageable on 3rd down.
Yeah, and the game's staying chippy here as both teams are getting after it right there. But Ryan Robison does a great job catching that ball wide open. And then with that cutback, maybe cost himself a little bit of yardage instead of just lowering the head. But, you know, Ryan makes plays, and sometimes that's the risk. I mean, I never see it on a highlight, but I'm pretty sure Barry Sanders got tackled for a loss at some point. Yeah, maybe he didn't.
Jackson throws. Great catch. Chase Ingram's right near the sticks, and that should be enough for a 1st down, and it is.
Yeah, great route by Chase Ingram. Get enough for the yardage. When you catch it, you've got the 1st down, and he got just enough, saw where the chains were, and, you know, that's another benefit here. There's not always a marker on both sides, but here there's the down marker, and so he knew how many yards he had to get past it and did just enough.
Single back set for Jackson. Takes the snap. It's going to be a give to Ryan Robison. Ryan cuts upfield, slips after a gain of a yard. He's maybe got 2 after going down. 2nd and 8.
Yeah, Ryan went to plant right there and just lost footing and wanted to make a cut, see if he could bounce that. He even wanted to bounce that to the outside where he had one more blocker out there to help him, but just slipped right there. But still a positive gain, and that clock now becoming Juab's friend as it continues to tick.
And Canyon View needs to get off the field here, and they barely do before the snap. Jackson pumps, going deep for his man Peyton Park. Peyton hauls it in. Oh, just had it in his breadbasket. Falls incomplete.
And, you know, I can't let it go apparently, because it's that same thing where there's contact after a drop ball, and this time no call on that. And I don't think there should have been a call. I'm just trying to find out the consistency of it.
Right.
You know, and Peyton doesn't drop that pass very often, and he is still wearing a brace on that left arm, and I wonder if that didn't have some effect on that.
3rd down and 8. Robinson goes out in motion. Jackson takes the snap. It's a screen-type developing play, and he hits Chase Ingram. Chase makes the catch, gets to the 40, and it's going to be awfully close here. I think they're going to mark him about a yard, maybe half a yard shy of the 1st down.
And I'm guessing he's going to go.
They give him the first down. Wow.
Yeah. So no need to make that decision now. And Juab probably, without picking up a first down, can run out this 3rd quarter from this point in. I'm not sure that's what's on Coach Bowering's mind, as he would like to get into that end zone.
Officially under a minute to go in the 3rd. Give to Ryan Robinson. Ryan heads left. Great block on the outside. Ryan looks to cut back upfield. Stiff arm. Still going. Gets to near midfield at the 48-49 yard line. 2nd down and short coming up. And now flags are coming in. Boy, this. And here's the thing. This is what bothers me about this. You could have controlled this in the first half if you're the officials.
And if you hit it on the first one, and this one may be offsetting or could go against Juab.
Officials are discussing this here and having a lengthy conversation about it. And the other thing that bothers about this, we saw worse in the first half that wasn't flags.
Right.
You know? So this is a very long conversation. We're about to get the call here from the White Hat. We'll see if we can pick this up here.
We have a dead ball. Personal foul, 58. Dead ball, personal foul, 11.
So these will offset.
And we probably won't have that replay, as that was away from the ball. That was back at the line of scrimmage. But the play is going to stand, right? Because they're dead ball.
Both dead ball fouls. They offset. So now 2nd and short. Officials stop the clock again, or stop play again.
Well, and he didn't have the marker still said first down, and I think he wanted to clarify it's 2nd down.
Jackson gets to the center. Now goes under center to give to Chase Ingram on a counter. Chase has great blocking. Heads down the sideline and gets out of bounds. Chase Ingram so dangerous on those counter plays, especially when he's got elite blocking outside, and that was definitely the case.
Yeah, and down that sideline, and, you know, I'm not sure it's 100% one-sided, but the tension or the chippiness, whatever you want to call it, seems to be happening on this offensive and defensive line right there. And so if you're Juab, you got to go tell your guys, hey, we've got a lead. You're just going to have to take it for a minute. We'll talk to the officials. They're aware of it now.
1st down and 10. Jackson, little play fake, going deep. Peyton Parks his man. Peyton goes up, and the ball's incomplete. Trying to go up was Peyton Park, and in coverage for the Canyon View Falcons, I believe that was Trenton Ludlow. Park's counterpart that's had a great day on offense for Canyon View comes up with the PBU there.
And great coverage, and just watching Peyton as he comes off, and he's coming off a little slowly. So, but appears to be okay there.
Yeah, you hope the best for Peyton Park, and might just be catching a breather there. That's another thing when you're injured. That conditioning hits you really fast in your first game back. It's another counter to Chase Ingram. Chase gets to the outside, has some good blocking. It's down the sideline and gets out of bounds again. Chase Ingram having himself a good end of the 3rd quarter here on this drive.
Yeah, and really kind of taking over. This has kind of become the Chase Ingram drive. And so Juab picks up that first down, and now only 15 seconds left, and I would guess this quarter's going to end with Juab's ball.
It's a counter again. This time Wes Nielsen gets it. Wes cuts back upfield. Not a lot of room to operate. It's going to get maybe 2 yards on what likely is going to be the final play here of quarter number 3. So join us for fourth quarter action. Neither team scored there in that third quarter. Very similar to what we saw with Emory and San Juan last night. We've got fourth quarter action next on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, and ETV.
The Intermountain Power Service Corporation is committed to supporting our local schools, communities, and the economies of central and south central Utah. Each year, IPSC's 2 950-megawatt generating units provide 3 million megawatt hours of energy for communities in Utah and Southern California. The Intermountain Power Project ranks among the best of coal-based power plants in reliability, cost-effectiveness, and environmental responsibility. IPSC, honored to sponsor this sports broadcast.
Live high school sports action on Centricom, Channel 10, ETV, and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
And we welcome you back on in. It's Juab 30, Canyon View 13 as we start our fourth quarter. Our scoreboard is made possible by Livingston Photography and Print. Livingston Photo and Print, one-stop shop for photo printing and business solutions. That's been a great weekend here at SUU. Always fun to hang out with Barrett Hilton, Dylan Smith, and Joe Williams. We've had a whole fantastic crew getting everything going throughout the entire weekend. And a big shout out to SUU. This is the most hospitable, Cam, that I've seen a school show us ever. They catered 4 different meals yesterday.
Wow.
And it wasn't just kind of they'd come to the room, hey, you guys want food, come get food. Big shout out to the folks down here in Cedar City for taking such good care of us, and even with some inclement weather on Thursday and even yesterday morning. So it's going to be second down and 8 here for the Juab Wasps to start this play here in quarter number 4.
Yeah, and kind of a time-consuming drive here by the Juab Wasps. A little bit of confusion there, but the play clock hasn't started. But Justin Stevens comes in late, and he'll go to that wide receiver spot on the right side.
Kind of a tight formation. Richards comes in motion. Jackson. Guess who? Chase Ingram on a counter to the outside. Chase, this was defended much better by Canyon View. Chase still gets a solid gain, though. It's going to make it a much more manageable third down.
Yeah, Canyon View could not set the edge there, but did a good enough job of stringing that out that Chase couldn't get his shoulders pointed to the north right there and get down to the field.
And it really only ends up being a yard. The far official was clear down, making me think it was going to be third down and 3. Oh. Okay, so a penalty now on illegal hands use by Canyon View.
And, yeah, that was that looked like Austin Hopawate was out trying to make a block, and his guy had basically stiff-armed him into the face right there and kept contact with it. So that's going to pick up the first down.
Yeah.
And still going to give Juab a chance to get a first down, as it'll be at the 12.
And the Wasps are kind of operating with this extra offensive lineman kind of in a fullback spot. As it gives to Riker Richards now. Riker moves forward, gains maybe a yard as the pile continues to push. And nothing extracurricular there.
No, just good football right there. Yeah, that's Taylor Newton. Juab started putting him into the backfield last week as that fullback spot. He is an offensive lineman, but last week and you never know what's for film and what isn't, but they gave it to him a couple of times. Actually, Taylor had a touchdown last week on a short run from that position.
11:23 to go. Juab leads 30-13. Wasp knocking on the door, second down and 9. Ingram comes in motion. Chase is going to get it on a sweep to the outside. Chase is tackled for a loss. Trying to get the number again on that far side for Canyon View. Is that Macias coming up to make the play? These numbers hard to see with the white on gray. Number 8 making the play for Canyon View. That is Lincoln Rushton.
Yeah, another junior there. And there is a penalty marker down on the far sideline. They're going to stop the clock while they discuss this. Penalty marker sitting down at the 11.
Now, this is interesting. They're having a lengthy discussion about this as well. Let's see what the call is here from the official. They're still trying to figure this out.
Yeah, it looked like he was coming to make the call. He did back Juab up.
They are taking their sweet time. This looks like it's going to be on Juab. That's just a hold. So they're going to put some more time back on.
Yeah, so the discussion, and it interesting because they marked it from the line of scrimmage. Well, maybe not. That was big.
That's
back to the 26, 25-yard line.
Yeah, second down, and Juab can get a first down in at the 2. Jackson throws over the middle. He's got Riker Richards, but just missed him. And give Canyon View's pass rush some credit here, Cam. They've made Alex Jackson's life a little uncomfortable, making him throw maybe a second or two earlier than he would like.
Yeah, and that's big because you get into a timing as a quarterback. Hey, I'm going to hold it. He makes him get rid of it. He throws it to where he would like to throw it to, but his receiver just hasn't had a chance to get to that spot yet. And so big play here, and I would guess this is 4-down territory for Juab. I don't know that there's a benefit. Well, it makes it so a field goal can't get you on the third score.
Jackson on a screen. Riker Richards makes the catch, but it's snuffed out. And a good game, a decent game for Riker Richards, but not before he's brought down by the Canyon View defender. I think that was Hudson White, the sophomore, that made the tackle. Great read by the defense of Canyon View. So now it's 4th down, and I like the kick here, Cam, just because
it makes it 3 big scores now
right.
to beat you. It doesn't make it a 4 score, but it does make it 3 big scores.
Well, and you only have 2 yards to get a first down.
Right.
You don't have much room to get a first down. The snap's good, holds good. Riker Richards' kick is no good. Went a bit to the left.
I just missed that out the left side, and that goes back to the 20. So there's not a real risk. It's the same as a touchback, and so yeah, you have a little confused getting on and off there, but now back on. And I thought I'd heard a whistle before the snap, but must not have right there, and so
Canyon View takes over 1st down and 10 at the 20. Empty back or single set back with 2 receivers to either side. The snap to Jensen. Going to throw. He's got a man wide open over the middle of the field, making that catch and then some. Still going to the 50, breaking out past the 40 to the 35. A great catch and run from the Canyon View Falcons. I believe that's Nick Macias on the catch and run.
And then a very late flag on the sideline. Way away, nobody around that official, so it'll be interesting to see what that call is. But I'm unsure if it was miscommunication on the coverage.
Sideline warning, Canyon View. That's their first sideline warning. First down.
So, yeah, it's just a warning the first time, so no penalty, but I think he just had a guy getting a little too excited and maybe getting out on a little bit further than he was supposed to, Cam.
Yeah, but the came out late, but the official probably was watching the play till he could get down there.
Now in the gun, it's Jensen. Surveys, throws over the middle, has got a man again. It's caught at the 20, taken at the 15. That's I think going to be a face mask on Juab, so that's going to give even more room for Canyon View there as that flag comes in down around the 15.
I think that might be a face mask on Macias as he tried to stiff arm Justin Stevens and then kind of left it there, maybe closed down. We'll have to wait and see what the call is.
These officials have huddled quite a bit today.
Just make the call. What'd you see?
Foul, face mask, number 7.
So that will give a little bit more room here for additional yardage for Canyon View. Coming up and making the catch was number 7, Trey Bueller.
Yeah, and that's why I'm confused. I think 7 was him.
Yeah, Justin Stevens wears number 1. And Justin on that replay did grab a hold of the face mask, but first and goal for Canyon View, trying to sneak back into this game. It's a give and a keep up the middle, and the ball comes out, and the Juab Wasps pick it up.
He needs to go down.
Dax Johnson breaks out. Maybe he doesn't need to go down, and then he slips. Oh, Dax Johnson was seeing a lot of green, goes down around the 19-yard line.
And as soon as I saw it was the cheat code, no, he doesn't need to go down. And the official still standing in the goal line.
That ball does come out as he's nearing the plane.
But he's staying back there.
That might have just been where he threw his beanbag, where the fumble
Right.
took place. But, yeah, Dax stutter stepped for just a second. They're saying you can't advance.
No, they spotted it at the...
But they spotted it at the 18-yard line.
So, yeah, I'm not sure what the explanation was there.
Jackson takes the snap. It's a give to Ryan Robison, who's flushed out quickly. Trying to get that number for Canyon View, 44, I believe. Coming up to make that play, the senior Rain Yardley with a big tackle for loss there.
And Canyon View just starting to sell out now. Know that they have to stop it. It's just a bull rush that got back into the point where Juab was handing the ball off, and Ryan Robinson had nowhere to go right there.
Single receiver to either side. Jackson brings a man in motion. It's going to be Chase Ingram on a counter again. Chase, not a lot of space to operate as he gets brought down. And trying to, again, these numbers, folks, have gotten harder to see as the days moved on. Now with the overcast here in St. George.
44?
I think that was 20. I think that was Trenton Ludlow.
Trenton Ludlow's had a heck of a ball game for Canyon View today.
On both sides.
Yeah, win or lose, he needs to keep his head up as he's had a great day.
And a shout out to our camera crew zooming in. That makes it so much easier for us to see these numbers on the replays. As Jackson's going to go deep, he's got a man. It's Austin Park who makes the catch at the 50. Stutter steps and gets brought down at the 31-yard line. Terrific play from the sophomore. We're going to be seeing him throw those type of passes a year from now, but Austin Park coming down with the reception.
Yeah, and a perfectly thrown ball by Alex, and Austin tries to make a move right there. Decided maybe I can't outrun him, but I can make a move on him, but a great reception.
Jackson surveys over the top. Chase Ingram's there and just overshot him by about a half a yard. Second down coming up.
Yeah, you have 2 verts there as Austin Park, and it's a good thing he's young, as that's back-to-back vertical routes for him right there, and he's going to wake his way back to the huddle.
Chase Ingram now will head to the sideline. Juab on 2nd and 10. Neither team scored here in the second half, which the fact that we went a quarter with 0 points from either team camp, a bit surprising. Jackson takes the snap. It's a screen play, sets it up for Ryan Robison. Ryan makes the catch. He's got some good blocking downfield. And Ryan, the whistle came really early. Ryan was still in bounds when the whistle was being blown.
Yeah, we'll have to watch that. That whistle came as Ryan turned the corner. As Ryan catches it on about the 34, gets across the 35, and that's where we heard the whistle, and he did. He stepped out right there. Yeah.
So it's a first down. That first down brought to you by the folks at Nephi Federal Credit Union, your hometown credit union. Wasp trying to find the Cache Valley Bank end zone. Jackson in the gun, 2 receivers to either side. To give to Ryan Robison. Penetration early here from Canyon View, and a flag comes flying in.
And that's probably going to be a hold, I'd guess, as Canyon View just really bringing a lot of heat and getting a lot of penetration into this Juab backfield to the point where running plays, I mean, you want to break up a running play, if you get some penetration right there, it just throws off the entire timing of it.
So it is a hold on the Wasps. We'll back them up here. So we're approaching the midway point of the fourth quarter. If you'd have told me, we would have gone 18 minutes without any points, Cam.
Yeah, it would have been something else.
Yeah. Of course, there was a dry spell in that Emory-San Juan game after what was an even more explosive. I still was just in shock watching that and that first half was.
Well, I'm trying to remember the score. 45-38 at the half.
I think it was 46-38. I think it was an 8-point game.
Yeah.
Ended up being an 8-point win for San Juan. Play action. Slant route. What a snag from Wes Nielsen as he cuts across the middle and into the end zone. Wes Nielsen in for 6. And that might be all she wrote as the Juab Wasps extend this lead. 36-13 PAT pending.
Wow, and just a simple slant. And Wes has to go get that, catches it in his hands, puts it in there, and then that seam opens up down the middle, and Wes Nielsen off to the races right there, and it's going to be tough to catch Wes.
Wasps will attempt a PAT here with 6:48 to go as they find the Cache Valley Bank end zone, offering mortgage, construction, loan services, and the Cache Valley Bank app for mobile banking on the go, all with the touch of a button. Snap's good, holds good, kick is also good. So with 6:48 remaining in the fourth quarter, it's Juab 37, Canyon View 13 on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, and ATV.
I thought there was only one way to do college. I knew I needed training to set me up for a great career, but I didn't have 4 years. Snow helped me discover that college doesn't have to be about sitting in classes, counting down the hours. They showed me a way to get the edge I needed, and fast. The best part was with their low-cost programs and tuition assistance, I didn't have to go into debt. I was able to earn my certificate and start working right away. Snow College. This is college.
Live high school sports action on Centricom, Channel 10, ETV, and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Welcome back on in. 6:48 to go. The Wasps with a big score there, Cam. The way Canyon View's moved the ball here in the second half, Juab's all but locked this up, looking to play in a state championship game the second time in 3 years.
Yeah, 4 scores at this point, and it's going to be very difficult for Canyon View to get back in, and once again, you're going to have to go 80 yards to do it.
Riker Richards puts that through the uprights. Through the end zone, not through the up. The PAT was through the uprights. Scoreboard this fine afternoon as we've gone from morning to afternoon now. It's brought to you by Livingston Photo and Print, a one-stop shop for your photo and printing business solutions, where they print just about anything on just about everything.
Yeah, and Canyon View now. See, Juab dials up some pressure here because the screenplay's nice, but it's not going to get you back in this game. You're going to have to throw the ball deep here to give yourself a chance. And so if Juab brings some pressure, and Keegan Hall is on this left end, Briar Wright's on that right side, and see where they come with the pressure.
Man comes in motion. Jensen, pressure comes. It's a screenplay, and it is complete for a good chunk of yards out past the 35, and a flag's going to come in for a horse collar. So this is going to end up being a really big chunk play for Canyon View. A great catch and run on the outside by Asher Groff.
Yeah, and I think Wes Nielsen just trying to grab any part of him that he could there as he had to hit the sideline and was heading down. I think that's a good call on the horse collar. But once again, I'm not sure. I think you're going to run that screenplay because Juab is going to bring the pressure, but 20 yards is a nice gain on that screenplay, and you probably need some more than that to get back in this ball game.
So a big chunk play for Canyon View on first down, and so that'll put them on the other side of the field. Wow, puts them at the 47 with the additional penalty yards. 6:40 to go here in the fourth. It was 20-13, Cam. 17 unanswered now for the Juab Wasps. There's a throw, a completion, out to the 30, tackled at around the 28-yard line. A great open field tackle by Dax Johnson to prevent that from going any further is Nick Macias with a good catch and run.
Yeah, Nick, and Juab in a little bit of a prevent, so Macias for the first time today finds himself open and in some space, and then he shows good speed, gets around it, and that's a nice pickup. And that's the kind of plays they're going to need to try to climb back in this with some onside kick help probably.
First down and 10. You got trips to the left, single receiver, high right, single back set for Jensen. Man comes in motion. Jensen claps the hands. Blitz comes from Juab. Jensen hangs in the pocket, going to go for the end zone. And Riker Richards bats that in the air, and a great effort from the Canyon View defender to go up and get that, but it is going to fall incomplete out of bounds, out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah, and good coverage that time by Riker as he's in perfect position and just able to get it batted up. And I think, once again, Canyon View going for Trenton Ludlow down there, and this time Juab had him covered, bats it up. He makes a great effort, but that ball had bounced out of the back of the end zone and made a great effort to get to it.
2nd down and 10 for the Canyon View Falcons. They'll go 2 receivers to either side. Single back set. Man comes in motion. It's a low snap picked up by Jensen, and he's going to get sacked. Porter Anderson going to get credited with that one, along with trying to get the number there for Juab. I think that's 56.
58, Austin Hopawate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so Porter Anderson that time comes on the blitz, and he's kind of been the guy spying Jensen all game, and this time he comes on the blitz, and this time gets to Jensen in the backfield.
And just a low snap. Big thanks to our Centricom crew for getting that, our TeamHive.live crew. Thanks, Joe. Yeah, happy to have Joe Williams with us all weekend. It's dangerous when Joe and I get together. Too many jokes shared off the air. Clap of the hand for Jensen. Surveys over the middle, complete. And a good tackle that time from, I believe that was Cooper Blackett making the tackle. And got an injury in the backfield from Jensen.
Oh.
With a flag. Oh.
Yeah.
He is very slow to get up.
We'll have to watch, see if we can pick that up on that replay.
As favoring his right arm and wrist.
And now another player down for Canyon View as well. And I think that might be Trenton Ludlow, who made the reception.
We have a personal foul, roughing the passer, number 58, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
So it's a 1st down because of the penalty. We got a couple injured Falcons on the field. Let's watch on this replay here. And, and we don't see the finish result of that play, Cam, in the backfield, but it seemed like Austin was right there within a step of him. But we do have a couple of injured Falcons. We'll take a timeout and be back on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, and ETV.
Zions Bank proudly supports our local communities and schools. We've been providing families and businesses with banking tools and stellar service for nearly 150 years. For helping you achieve your financial goals, Zions Bank is for you.
When you need superior coverage for your greatest investments in life, Security Insurance is the answer. Riker Osborne of Security Insurance is the type of insurance agent that makes a difference for you and your family by offering United Insurance. Visit security-ins.com. Eat fresh, refresh at your local Subway stores in Mona and Gunnison. Fresh bread baked daily, better, fresher ingredients, all new sandwiches and some improved favorites. Whether it's hot toasted subs, flatbread sandwiches, salads, or getting your morning started with a full menu of delicious breakfast items, Subway is ready. If you're planning a party or get-together, Subway has party planners or giant subs. You've got to refresh to be fresh. That's your Subway stores in Mona and Gunnison.
Live high school sports action on Centricom, Channel 10, ETV, and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
And a big hand for Jackson Jensen as he heads to the sideline, the junior quarterback who's had a phenomenal season. They found their guy at quarterback, Cam, after moving a few players around, and wish him the best as he heads to the sideline.
Yeah, and I know that I think Andrew Barnes, who has played some quarterbacks for them, is in a sling from being injured last week, so unsure who they'll have to go to here as the backup quarterback, because they've got a nice drive going.
Nick Macias has played quarterback as well. I think that's who we're going to see here. And he's been used more in that Wildcat type play, so we'll see what Nick Macias ends up doing here for Canyon View. Clap of the hands for Nick. Going to go RPO, and Macias tripped up and brought down. Is that 60 for Juab getting in there?
Yeah, Taylor Newton with the initial contact, and Taylor just comes from that defensive end and takes on a blocker, and then, well, it's not the blocker, it's the running back there at the mesh point, and then able to stay with that and gets him to the ground.
Was trying to see what part of Macias he was holding on to. It was the front of the jersey. I was like, how is he dragging him down? But it's a loss of 3 on the play. 2nd down and 13. Macias, clap of the hands surveys, going to roll out to his left. Nick Macias is going to throw and just into the ground as a late hit there. And Macias, very heated coming up as a flag is thrown, and tempers continue to fly.
Yeah, and I don't think, he's a ball run. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see this call. And, at this point, players need to realize, and especially those Juab players, because it looks like they've got something to play for next week, that you don't want to do anything dumb right here. And I think Coach Bowering's bringing him over and saying, look, guys, knock it off.
Good timeout from Coach Bowering here. I don't know about that. So,
yeah, we'll watch that on the replay. And I think that's Keegan Hall, who's in pursuit the entire time as he gets off. No, it's not going to be Keegan. And,
Wasps will take a timeout. We'll take it as well. 4:25 to go here in the fourth. Juab 37, Canyon View 13 on the Mid-Utah Radio Sport. Oh, no. We're going to keep this here? I think we're going to keep this here.
All right.
So, throwing Barrett off a little bit there, and that's my fault.
Well, that gives me a chance to ask you this question.
Yeah.
Do we have a game time for the championship game as of yet? We have a location.
Yes. 1 through 3A are for sure down at Utah Tech at Greater Zion Stadium. I have not been made aware of any times yet.
Yeah, and then I think it's interesting, the 4A, and this makes sense to me,
right,
has a time but not a location, because I think, you've got the Logan and the North and the St. George schools. Let's see who's playing in it before we decide where we go.
And that'll also affect the 8-man championship as well, where that's played. Is that Barnes that's in there? I'm trying to get that number because it's not Nick Macias. I think that is Barnes, the lefty, as he throws for the end zone, and it's caught for a touchdown on that play. Wow. We have not seen Andrew Barnes all day, and he's one of the better receivers. He's had injuries. Trey Bueller comes up. Oh, no, that's number 6. It's Deegan Davies.
Yeah.
The sophomore.
Yeah, because I did think I saw Barnes at halftime in a sling, and I thought that would have been interesting. But that sure looked like a 5. But I understand that because in Juab's other uniforms, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 look the same.
How many times early in this year did I mix Peyton Park and Riker Richards up where they wear 5 and 6?
Yeah,
right?
You can't. It's just so hard to see. But nonetheless, touchdown late here for Canyon View.
They'll go for 2 here to make this a 16-point game as Davies, clap of the hands. Lefty goes to the outside, and a well-designed play as it's in for the 2-point conversion. That's number 21, I believe, Carver Mock, the tight end, coming up with the reception. And Davies, 2 throws, and he's gotten 8 total points out of those throws. So with 4:20 to go, it's Juab 37, Canyon View 21 on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, teamhive.live and ATV.
Are you a new CDL license holder? If so, Barney Trucking would like to train and pay you to become a world-class truck driver on state-of-the-art equipment. They also provide you with reliable, courteous support, a fantastic wage, paid holidays, solid benefits, home daily schedules, paid time off, an excellent safety record, and respect. Dependable truck drivers have been Barney Trucking's #1 investment since 1947. Start your outstanding career by applying today at barneyjobs.com. barneyjobs.com.
Live high school sports action on Centricom, Channel 10, ETV, and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Welcome back on in. 4:20 to go. It's Juab 37, Canyon View 19. I'd imagine some kind of an onside try here from the Canyon View Falcons, Cam.
Yeah, I would expect Juab with that hands team up front right there.
And I take it back. It's Juab 37, Canyon View 21 after that 2-point conversion. So that makes a 2-touchdown, 2-point conversion game.
2 big scores here, but that gives you a chance if you're Canyon View. Juab, now Canyon View down 1 timeout that they had to take very early in that in this second half, and so a couple of first downs after you recover this onside.
And a good bounce, but a better catch. I believe, is that Chase Ingram making the catch there? Dax Johnson.
Yep, Dax just gathered it and went straight down and just kind of curled up around that football, and that's the right play. And Dax looks a little bit shaken up, but he says, I'm going back to the huddle. No, I'm going to go to the sideline. I wanted to go to the huddle, though. I would expect Juab to try to run the ball and get some first downs here, and that will put a lot of pressure, at least make Canyon View burn those timeouts here.
Right. Falcons can stop the clock twice at this point. Jackson's under center. Pitch to Robinson. Ryan heads to his left. Comes near side of the 50 and dances out of bounds. You want to stay inbounds if you're Ryan Robinson, as there's a little bit more chatter going on.
Yeah, and just you almost got to slide down right there. You want that clock to continue running right there, and so don't go out of bounds. As Austin Hopawate got out there and did a great job lead blocking that. And then once you see there's no hope, you just got to slide, or you got to get down inbounds and let them keep winding the clock. But a nice gain there by Ryan.
Gain of 4 on first down. It's 2nd and 6. Man in motion's Wes Nielsen. It's another give to Ryan. Ryan heads up the middle, falls forward for a solid gain of 3. And we'll see what Canyon View elects to do here. Not going to use one of their timeouts remaining. This is a big third down, Cam. This you get the first down here in your Juab, your things are looking really good that you could possibly run out the clock with another set of first downs.
Yeah, or at least force them to use both of those timeouts. And it is nice here now with those play clocks that Alex can look down and see exactly where the number is. And that's what he's looking at now as he stands behind Will Harmon as center.
Kind of a bunch formation to the near side, far side single receiver high. Robinson's the back. The pitch goes to Ryan. Ryan looks to fall forward after getting a hit initially. It's not going to be enough for a first down. A gain of a yard, and now Canyon View is going to use their first of 2 timeouts.
And in this position, maybe you go for this, or I don't know. The right football call is probably you got to punt it away, try to pin him deep, make him go the distance. But really, you can win the game with that first down right here. So I'm not sure there's a right or a wrong call.
Well, there's a reason I'm in a booth broadcasting and not calling plays, right? But I would go for it here.
I mean, I'm leaning that way too because I think you can end the game.
Absolutely. I'm going for it here if I'm Juab. And Alex Jackson is in the huddle, kind of indicating that I think the Wasps are going to go for this. Worst case scenario, you go out there and try to get a hard count. You can either spend a timeout or even just take the 5 yards. Gives you a little more room to punt, knowing Riker Richards' punting accuracy that he has. So
Alex is going to go under center with the lone back. I kind of thought we might see Taylor Newton in there at that fullback spot.
4th down and a yard. Play clock is at 25. Jackson brings a man in motion. It is Chase Ingram. Jackson now looks to the sideline after a hard count. Gets the play call from Coach Bowering. Play clock's at 12. Ingram now motions to the other side. Jackson will await again. And now Juab will take a timeout with 5 on the play clock. We'll take it as well and be back on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, and ETV.
This school year will be different.
This year, I'll do my assignments on time.
I will listen to my teacher.
I solemnly swear.
We won't eat any glue.
I'll do my homework every night.
Every night.
Research? No problem. School? I got this.
This year will be different. Visit Centricom.com to power your education with the best internet experience. Everyone succeeds with School to the Power of Centricom.
Live high school sports action on Centricom, Channel 10, ETV, and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Welcome back on in. 37-21, Juab with the lead. 4th and 1, and I think they're going to snap it this time, Cam. I don't think you come back out of back-to-back timeouts.
First sound.
And it's a sneak, and Alex Jackson gets it. It's going to be a first down, and you can essentially end the game here.
If you're going to go on first sound right there and don't let him get ready. Just go on that first sound, which is what Alex did. And Alex, who from his sophomore year, we talked about he went from a playmaker or from a game manager to a playmaker, but he also put on quite a bit of muscle in that weight room over those last 2 years or 3 years, and very strongly just takes that forward for the first down.
Watch some Tom Brady quarterback sneaks possibly on film as It's a dive up the middle, and the football came out. I think Canyon View's got this. They do. Wow.
And just too much penetration, and it got right there to the mesh point, and probably couldn't get a good exchange as it got there so quickly. But Canyon View with a little bit of life now. Now and we'll see. Yeah, they're going to have to stay with Deegan Davies. The sophomore will be in at quarterback.
Yeah, the ball just.
Yeah.
And Jackson, and even then, there was penetration as Alex was handing that off to Ryan, and so essentially.
That front four did a good job of just not lowering their hands and going at the quarterback. They got their hands up, made him pump it a little bit, and then just falls incomplete.
2:43 to go, 2nd and 10 for Canyon View. They need 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions here in the last 2:43 to force overtime, and they have 1 timeout remaining. It's bad snap. Davies has to go pick it up, and he just falls on it. Clear back at the 26.
And does Canyon View take a timeout here? They do.
They do.
And that's their last one, and that hurts.
As you see on the snap, I think it was just a little bit low. And that's a tough assignment for the sophomore here.
Yeah,
great camera work from Joe Williams and great engineering there by Barrett Hilton and producing. Canyon View uses their final timeout. We'll keep it here, Cam, for the final 2:33. Biggest, what's the play call going to be here on 3rd and 30?
Well,
2 plays, right?
You move Nick Macias back in to throw this, but then you just took a really good receiver out of the game, right? I mean, and put him back there, but you do have the ball in his hands. It'll be interesting to see what they do, but you've got 2 plays to pick up 30. You don't need it all here. You're going for it on 4th, obviously, anyway. I don't think the screen will work. I think you've got to run. They've had some success on some posts across the middle routes, and it kind of depends. Does Juab come out in that little bit of prevent? And right now they're not showing that. They're showing normal coverage.
3rd down and 30. Going to go with 2 receivers to either side. See what the play call is here with Davies in at quarterback. Brings a man in motion. And it's going to be a halfback pass or a receiver pass to Macias. Macias runs out of room, but then gains a bunch of room heading to the opposite side, and Nick's got to get out of bounds. And he does a really good job. And there's some pushing on the sideline. I don't think this has been as bad as some of the other stuff. Guys are just heading out of bounds.
And I didn't see a flag. We'll watch it on the replay as Austin Hopawate gives chase.
Will Harmon and Riker Richards getting out of bounds.
Comes off the block, and then, this just, there's a little bit, but nothing really over there.
We've seen worse go uncalled today. So 3rd down and 12.
4th down and 12.
Excuse me, 4th and 12, yeah.
And that's what the officials wanted to adjust there.
2:28 to go. 2 receivers to either side. Or I should say trips to the left here. The way this is lined up, Davies claps the hands. It's a rollout to his left. The lefty throws on the run, and it's into the dirt and incomplete. And it will, in effect, end the game here. Juab is going to have all the time they need to run this clock out. Wasps are going to be heading back to the state championship down at Greater Zion Stadium next Friday. It is going to be a Friday state championship game.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. It's a drive, but I like it down in St. George because it gives you the best chance at some good weather.
That's right.
And you just get to go play football. Not that it's guaranteed, but it gives you the best chance.
And recently renovated Greater Zion Stadium.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since then.
Yeah. I've actually never been, and I've been in the Burns Arena a number of times, but I've never been in Greater Zion, so should be a fun time down there at Utah Tech. Next Friday, as a pitch goes to the outside, and Riker Richards takes it forward for a gain of 2.
And there's a little extracurricular, and the ref was right on top of that. That's going to go against Canyon View. And, I know Coach Byron, they're close enough. You need to keep your players on we'll watch this just at the end and see what happens here. As everything is fine as of right here. And then he'll get up, and then just a little, as Riker's coming, he just, oh, that goes against Riker.
He had to have said something.
Yeah, that's the only thing. On his back right there, and something must have been said. And it wasn't that much by the Canyon View player on that, but a little more than was needed.
Huh. Well, it's been a strange morning, Cam.
Yeah.
This game's taken nearly 3 hours to play. Is the handoff up the middle? It's going to go for a gain of about 1.5 yards, maybe 2 yards.
And I don't think Juab's going to. The math isn't right yet, just to kneel that one off. But you may make some substitutions, get some players in, give them that experience, and get ready for next week. At this point, it's still Alex, and maybe you just take a knee, let them burn the clock down. They can't stop it, punt it away, and then go from there.
Play clock is at 10.
I don't think Juab's going to. Coach Barry's going to have to take a timeout here.
So with minute 16 remaining, as he gets that down to 1 second, calls the timeout. Last timeout for the Wasps. Canyon View still holding on to that. Canyon View did spend their last timeout on that sack. So
neither team will be able to stop this.
Yeah.
And, we've talked about the chippiness today, and I think you kind of expect a little bit more of that when it's region teams playing each other. They've played each other before.
Right.
Things carry over from game to game. But, Canyon View has played at times really good. Canyon View's problem, I think, if we look back, it's been in the red zone.
Yeah.
They haven't had a lot of success once they've got into the red zone in this ballgame.
A fumble right at the goal line, a pick at around the 10.
Yeah.
So, as the Morgan Trojans have emerged from their locker room, with this game taking a little bit longer. That game was originally scheduled to kick off at 1, Cam. I don't think that's going to be the case.
No. I probably could have told them that going in. Just as many Juab games as I've done this year, 3 hours is probably usually enough, but not always enough for Juab.
So Riker Richards checks back in, 3rd down and 20 here for the Juab Wasps. Jackson, pitch to the outside. And a run, I believe that's Porter Jackson. And Porter with a good run.
And he stayed in bounds there.
Yeah.
So now I think Juab counts this down and takes a knee. As that play clock's at 33, Juab can take it's 4th down.
Yeah, you get
can't
the ball
take
back.
a knee. So I guess you can take a knee, but it's going to be a turnover. Yeah, and they're going to punt it away.
Riker Richards will punt one more time here in this state semifinal. Wasps heading back to the championship. Stay tuned. We've got our post-game show coming up next. It's brought to you by Sunrise Engineering, serving communities like yours all over the western United States. That's Sunrise Engineering. Give away our Mona Subway sub of the game. Eat fresh at the Mona Subway. Go say hello to Joni and check out the new menu items and Subway party platters.
So Juab takes the delay game, gets as much off the clock as they can, counts it down to 23, and now Riker Richards will come in and just punt that away.
And a suggestion from our cameraman, Dylan Smith, hike and just run around. Run as much time off as you can.
Well, and he will rugby it, but Canyon View's been onto that and brought the pressure from that left side of their defense.
And Riker will just give this a high kick from Riker as it takes a bounce at the 2 and goes back into the end zone for a touchback. So Canyon View will take over with about 15 seconds remaining as that takes about 8 seconds off the clock. And this Juab crowd is giving these Wasps a well-deserved round of applause. It's been a hard-fought game, very physical, a little chippy at certain points.
Yeah, and so now, and substitutions, some substitutions for the Juab Wasps. Porter Anderson's going to come in. Will Harmon's going to get a well-deserved breather on the sideline for this one. And Will Harmon's had a great game from that middle linebacker spot today. Just has done a fantastic job. And we don't always talk about everybody on this defensive side, but Will Harmon's had a great year. Center for the Juab Wasps, the senior center, and at that middle linebacker spot.
I would not want to get in a wrestling match with Will Harmon. And it's going to be a run on first down up the middle, and that I would guess should do it there as Canyon View just runs the football, and that will end it. Your final score: Juab 37, Canyon View 21, as the Wasps return to the state championship game. Post-game coverage coming up next on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, and ATV.